Okay. Who? Dan double you. Let's go. Ow, wow, listen right now. Everybody knows the man that says pow. Start the show, gonna talk some toys. This is for the grown-up girls and boys making noise. Let's start the show. Talking Marvel Legends and the money that we blow. Honestly, look, there ain't no stopping me. Turtles and Joes too, let's do this properly. Need to buy more toys, don't tell my bank. Wasn't me, promise it was Hellfire Hank. Whole Who crew, like they made me do it. If it lands at my door, then I best review it. Screw it, I don't usually boast, but I got Rich M, he's here to host. Raise a toast and raise some ducks. This isn't your average show, we're deluxe. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And it does feel good to be able to say pow again, as earlier in the week it was like ow. So it didn't sound like I was saying pow, it sounded like I was in pain. But don't worry, I'm slowly recovering, people, and it's not just me that's back. Rich M is back, displayed once. Rich, how you doing? I've missed you.
Hey, bonjour Dan, je m'appelle Rich M.
Have you been to Paris or something?
Oh, you can't speak French, can you?
No.
Sorry, Dan, I forgot. You can't mistake my biology. Wake me up, I'm back again.
This is all Girls Aloud references. This is how was Girls Aloud?
It was like amazing, Dan. Look.
You got the tour t-shirt and everything.
There you go.
Amanda was genuinely asking me if it was any good, and I said, I'm sure Rich will only give it good reviews.
Look, VIP.
Are you going to more now as well? You got like 2 others booked, right?
No, I sold the ticket. I sold the tickets for the ones. They were like going for like, but they going for 2 for 1 on Ticketmaster now. So I'm glad I sold them when I did. They've got nothing for them now. Nothing.
Good. Well, Rich has been busy chasing Girls Aloud. I was ill.
Done with that.
Okay, and I was ill, but I'm okay again. But I did still attended MCM Comic Con on the weekend. So shout out everybody that came to MCM Comic Con in London at the weekend. You know who you are. I even introduced myself to new people. A few people introduced themselves to me. So it's always good to meet new people in the community. Talking Toys, shout out In Demand for hosting, and yeah, we got to see some of the new 85th anniversary line. So we haven't actually spoke to Rich in a while, so we're going to start off with the news, but I didn't want to ignore that today's theme is, of course, X-Men 97. Now, we have had this, well, Rich has had this theme in the back pocket, but we did want to wait a little bit so we could just go spoiler heavy. So I do want to say right out the gate here, today is a spoiler zone in regards to X-Men 97. If you haven't seen it by now, look, I understand life gets busy and stuff like that. I've been there as well. Still plenty of things I haven't seen. But it's one of those shows where it's all over the internet. So if you would want to have really seen it by now, I'm sure you would have. So just putting it out there from the start, we will be talking spoilers today, all right? Wolverine does die. No, he doesn't really. But that was just an example. I was just testing you. Just warning you that spoilers are happening today. So we are going to be talking about X-Men 97, the show in general, and also we're going to discuss, now the show is complete and we have seen the whole season, we're going to discuss what we think a wave 3 or a wave 4 will look like, because they have basically been confirmed. They're just not coming out this year. That's why in the thumbnail it says 2025, as we will be discussing the potential of a Marvel Legends X-Men 97 wave 3 that's coming out in 2025, all right? And it's a spoiler zone as well, so we can talk about any character, any comic design. Let's just get into it. But before we do that, let's go through the housekeeping. First and foremost, thank you to everyone who came to MCM this week. Last weekend, there is a video on my channel with a quick recap. Got to see some of the new 85th anniversary stuff. Good times. Go and check out all the other long form on the channel. Legend of Liquor is this weekend. Legend of Liquor is back this weekend. So if you are a channel member at the Members Club tier or higher, and you want to be on the show talking your pickups and all the recent Marvel Legend news and whatnot, then I get involved. This Sunday, Legends and Liquor is happening. Where's my... there it is. Legends and Liquor, people. All right, what's the date on Sunday? Sunday, we're actually in June now. Sunday the 2nd of June, 6 p.m. UK time. Legends and Liquor is back in its regular scheduled program. If you want to be a part of the show, hit me up with a fresh DM straight after today's show and I will add you to the list. All right, Legend and Liquor this weekend.
Oh no,
what were you going to say?
Does it mean G.I. Joe June is here?
G.I. Joe June is here, and that's a great segue into Joe's and Juice and Turtles is here. Go and check them both out on the channel as well. Playlists are available, and yes, I have no doubts there will be a Joe's and Juice at some point in June, recapping all of the Joe news that we hope is coming out, but time will tell. I'm sure there will. There's no live streams as of yet, but I'm sure one will get announced very soon. If you want to contribute to the channel, you can do so. Anything over £4 or $4 Friday, our talking robot assistant will read it out loud. Not only contribute to today's stream with a talking robot, but also contribute to the channel, all right? Keep me on YouTube and I'll keep doing what you like me to do, all right? And that's talk toys and host a live show and all that good stuff. I appreciate you. Hit that join button as well. Take it that one step further. We appreciate you. Let's go and say hello to the chat. Right, there's me and Rich. There's me, Rich, and the chat. There is a poll in the chat that was sort of based on the theme I thought I was originally going to do, so you can get involved with that if you want. How many of the Marvel Legends 85th program items are you getting now that we have 9? We have had 9 officially revealed so far. 10% say 0, 40% say 1 to 4, 25% say 5 to 9, and 25% say all 10, even though the 10th item...
Why did you pick 1 to 4?
I don't know, just because I had 4. I had 4 and I had to pick... I knew I wanted 0 and 10, so then I just made up some numbers in the middle.
No, but you've clicked on. I mean, you've picked 1 to 4.
No, I can pick any.
No, you've picked 1 to 4.
How did I do
1
that?
to 4, Daniel. Oh, he's only by 1, look.
No,
which one is it?
That's not true. I can't vote on my own poll, so I don't understand that. Maybe I did it by accident. I'm going to get them all anyway. I'm a sucker. You know me. Get involved in the poll anyway, and we will discuss them in a second because that is this week's Marvel Legend news. But let's just scroll up for a second and say hello to the people. If you're on the replay crew and you've clicked the video because of the thumbnail, then I will put the timestamp in the description that when the X-Men 97 talk starts, all right? So if you don't like any of this normal housekeeping, this is a live show on YouTube, by the way. We do this every single week. You're welcome to get involved. So if you don't want to be here for the live nonsense, then you can click the link, the timestamp in the description, and go straight to the X-Men 97 talk. But of course, we're starting off the show by saying hello to the people that did make the effort to join us live, and also recap the Marvel Legend news of the last couple of weeks, all right? So that's what we're going to do first. So bear with us, all right? Bear with us, people. Right. Let me scroll up. Mark Tactac's in the building. Our Greek friend, I assume he's Greek. We still don't know how to say his name, but he's there every week and we should learn. We will learn. Mike Hex says, Sup, RP, Tactac, Hugo. Little Leaf Creation says, Evening all. Hope you have a top one. Got a cap use on the replay. That's not a problem. It's what the replay is there for. Jamie Gitchard, Jelly Figs. Robert says, hope everyone is good. We are good. We got Mikey Moonboots. Jay's Toy Collection UK says, Evening all. Rich is back tonight. That is, he's back tonight with his Kevin Feige style X-Men director's hat that I would wear if I had one, but I have no idea where he got it from. Is that a snapback or a fitted cap?
I don't know. It's what bald people wear, Dan. We can't do nothing with our hair, so we buy.
Well, is it? No, show me the back of it. Is it a snapback? Oh yeah, it's a snapback. It's a snapback. Encounter Culture Kenny says
it's a hat, Dan. It's a hat.
Yeah, there's different hats. No Chewing says, hey, what's up all? Cloud Foxwell says, chewing. They're friends, you see. They've made friends. Cute Cool. Jim Ruby says, hey there, Dan, Rich and crew. Home dude. Your boy's got toys. Says, pew pew. What up? He's trying to get that pew pew as a catchphrase. It's just not as empowering as pow.
Don't forget the dots. That's a good catchphrase.
Look, I'm trying to help him. Trying to help the guy. Do you know what? Someone actually went up to Craig at MCM Comic Con and says, you're one of the Legends guys, ain't you? See? So now Craig thinks he wants a t-shirt saying one of the Legends guys.
Tanner had met Craig before, do you?
No, it was Tanner. Yeah, it was Tanner. Hero Collections, he was at MCM. He's in the chat with the frog emoji. Shout out Brandon. We were saying nothing but nice things about you as always. Justin Collects says, hey everyone. Arvin says, welcome back, y'all. Striding, hello everyone. Gary A, 16 TV. That's a new name, right? I haven't said that out loud before. Glad you feel better, bro. Thank you. It's the new guy that actually cares about my well-being. It's the first person to actually go, Dan, I'm glad you feel better. Thank you, 16 TV. You're my new favourite, all right? No one else give a shit about my lost voice. Christopher Allen says, welcome back. Thank you, Christopher. I love you as well.
Dad was telling me about his lost voice before the show. Didn't even care. Ask him any follow-up questions.
Didn't care. Did not care. Rich was the one telling me to go, doctors, get antibiotics. He knew the full story. He knew I'd went doctors. Didn't care. Lady Max says, howdy. King K says, did the Cabal 3-pack show up for you yet? I live in the UK, but it isn't showing. This is just typical Amazon behaviour. We should ask our resident UK Hasbro employee, Brandon, in the chat. Brandon, get on the phone to what's his name? Jeff Bezos. Go, Jeff. Look, yeah, the Cabal 3-pack is yet to go up on Amazon UK. Sort it out. Jeff Bezos is the Amazon guy, right? I've got that rich man right.
Yeah,
cool.
He hasn't delivered my vodka as well. It's supposed to be about 8 o'clock, Dan.
Ridiculous.
It's 20 past 8. No sign of my vodka. Not happy.
Tell you what he did deliver though, Rich. He delivered She-Hulk. She arrived.
Way.
She-Hulk did arrive. Right, cheers, Jeff. This is straight from Amazon US. This arrived way after this. Who was ordered after, right? It makes no sense. But they are here. I have got a couple of the X-Men, a couple of the Iron Man, to review on the channel. Thank you very much, The Source, a.k.a. Rich M. Rectangular says 99.9% accurate leaks. That's true. That is true. Shout out Rectangular. His bingo card is definitely getting a few ticks on.
The 0.9 must be the Loki.
It just reminds me, do you know, like a germ bottle? It's like, they never say, kills 100% of germs. It's always like 99.9 just to cover themselves. So Rectangular's like that in regards to Marvel Legends leaks. He's like 99.9% accurate, just to give him that little bit of leeway.
The silent bag of the Legends universe. Rectangular.
Bang! And the leaks are gone. Hi, I'm Todd, and I slept. We need to make an infomercial of
what was
Todd.
His name? Barry, whatever.
It was Barry Scott, yeah. I don't know if that was
Scott.
I don't know if that was his real name, but he was like, bang, and the dirt is gone. Yeah, we need to make an infomercial for Rectangular anyway. I think that's what they're called. Gary A says no 3-pack in Canada yet either. Well, let's just get into it. Okay, there's Brandon. Brandon is commenting on us. He says Cabal 3-pack will be up on Amazon UK, France, Germany, Italy, and Spain. It will take a few days or so for the listing to appear. So there you go, straight from Hasbro's mouth. To be fair, this is normal Amazon behavior. Amazon UK or internationally is always a little bit behind, but they do eventually show up. To be fair, they do eventually show up, but they are a little bit slow. So it's a pre-order anyway, so it's not like it's going straight in stock. You just have to wait a little bit longer for the pre-order. It's not a problem. It will pop up eventually. Okay, let's talk about the Marvel Legends news then, shall we? Because I don't think, Rich, we have discussed with you yet not X-Men, I was about to say X-Men then, we're too early for the X-Men. Hulkbuster. I don't think we have recapped Hulkbuster with you, my friend. So tell the people, what do you think of Hulkbuster? Do you care? Do you like the look of it? What do you think?
I do not care about the Hulkbuster.
Okay.
It looks like a fairly accurate Hulkbuster. I could not give a shit.
Do you care that it may have not fought Hulk in the comics?
No, I don't care. Don't care about the Hulkbuster. If they'd done the one he marries Emma Frost in, I would have bought that. But I'm not. I don't care about this armor at all.
Well, I have seen it in person.
Was it impressive?
I liked it, but I'm easy to please, Rich. I'm easy to please. It was very good. It looked very just aesthetically fits so nice with some of the recent Marvel Legends Iron Man armors. So this definitely makes me think, okay, now I need a comic Call of Armor. I've yet to get one. I know people like Big Will in the chat and Rectangular have a really solid comic Call of Armor, but I've yet to create the space for one. I've got a nice MCU one, as people know. It's one of the things that actually survived the move. But I would like a comic one, and this does look like it will be a solid centerpiece. So got to see it in hand. Go and check out the footage on my MCM recap video. But yeah, it was good. It's always nice when something gets revealed, and then we literally get to see it in hand a few days later. So that was very good of them to bring it. Even though Brandon did hide it from me for most of the weekend, which I wasn't happy about.
That's impressive, the size on that. Where did he hide it?
Yeah, God knows.
He's got some skill, that boy.
I just thought he was happy to see me, right? So, and then he just pulls out Hulkbuster. And I was like, oh, so you didn't really care I was there the whole time. That's what it was. But he had the Hulkbuster was hiding. But this week's news, what went up this week? It is the Cabal 3-pack. Now, there has been rumblings along the internet that we were possibly getting a 3-pack, a 5-pack. And this is why Rectangular uses the caveat 99.9% accurate. Because like Rich says, This was rumored to be a 4-pack, okay? So we assumed this would be a 4-pack, including Loki, who is a founding member of the Cabal. Now, Loki appeared in that in female form, but we have had a couple of female Lokis in recent times, so we left us speculating, oh, what Loki would it be? It doesn't matter, because he is not in the pack. It is a free pack with Taskmaster, who did eventually join the Cabal, but isn't a founding member. You've got Iron Patriot and Doctor Doom, who ended up fighting, and then Doom ended up leaving the Cabal after that little tiff. But it is a new, updated version of Iron Patriot for our comic collection, and Doctor Doom does have a few differences. So,
he's got a fabric soft goods cape.
That is correct. That is correct. Now, Rich says that
Hasbro, you're spoiling us, aren't you? Rich
says that sarcastically, but there are lots of people in the community who genuinely are clamoring for soft goods. Like, a lot of people will instantly, like, some people pre-buy soft goods for their Marvel Legends before they even have the legend in hand. It's like it's one of those things that some people just instantly want to upgrade. So this Doctor Doom, even though we have got it several times before, that is the main difference, the soft goods cape. And at first, like Rich, I was like, oh, okay, it doesn't excite me too much. But then after Robo's little video, I realised, oh, wait, I can sit him down in the throne that I recently got from Toy Fair for an absolute bargain price. Hang on, let me get it. Oh, so now, I'm actually more excited to own this Doom because I have the Marvel Selects throne, and I can sit the Marvel Legends version in the throne now because of the soft goods cape. So I'm actually a little bit more excited to own this one. So and he's got a shorter skirt as well. He's been feeling a bit frisky. Taskmaster
legs for days.
Yep, Taskmaster is fully upgraded. He's on the Vulcan body. Brand new shield as well. Butterfly joints, much better for weapon wielding characters. So not mad at that at all. Bigger shield. And then Iron Patriot is, as I said, more new than reuse. Of course, there's a bit of reuse there, but there's more new than it first seems. And then you've got the Norman Osborn head, which is a must. I don't know, at first glance, something was a little bit off from me. Like, I don't know.
It's the red.
Yeah,
it looks like a kid's toy or a Titan. It doesn't look like a prop. It's because it's sculpted. It's not painted the red. It's not like a metallic finish. So it just looks off. I thought that as well. I thought, because I was really excited for this, probably the most of the wave. And then as it turns out, I'm more excited for Taskmaster. And what's up with Norman Osborn's head? Has he been doing meh? What is under his eyes?
Look, Norman Osborn's been through some shit. So he's still got his green eyes, still got that goblin blood coursing through him. But I think we did get this head on the it was the VHS Green Goblin. It's that head just repacked, maybe a slight redeco, but it's essentially a decent Norman Osborn head, to be fair. But yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I wanted an Iron Patriot. I never had the previous comic version. I've got the MCU one, which is a little bit outdated now. And like most people, I like the Dark Avengers, Dark Reign story. Norman Osborn's a big part of that.
But then I think that would have been a better 3-pack, a Dark Avengers 3-pack.
Agreed.
With like Moonstone, Miss Marvel, like Dark Wolverine, something like that. I think that would have been a better 3-pack than this. Even though I like Taskmaster a lot, I was pleasantly surprised with this Taskmaster. I really like this, so I will be getting it. But yeah, I'm not as keen on the other two. But Taskmaster, I think, looks amazing, and I'm liking all the updates, the articulation, and everything.
Yeah, again, characters that have a bow and arrow need that butterfly joint. I've been saying it, and it seems like I think if there was one major criticism from this pack from people, like, it's the fact that Doctor Doom gets the soft goods cape, and then Taskmaster doesn't. I do feel like if Taskmaster also had the soft goods cape, this pack would have been a home run, even with the sort of. Again, I don't dislike Norman Osborn because it is a gap I would like to fill in my collection. But I don't know, something I'm looking at it and I didn't instantly go, oh yes, that's the Iron Patriot I want. There was just something's a little bit off. And I can't figure it out. So maybe I need to see it in hand. Robo has got a review up now, by the way, people. So go and check out Robo's channel for a full review so you can see for yourself. But yeah, the Taskmaster is a bigger upgrade than you first thought. There are some upgrades to Doom if you consider the soft goods an upgrade. Still a great Doom body, by the way. It's still probably the best Doom legend we have. It's now just give you the option for soft goods. I actually quite like that we get the Doom bot head. The problem is... like it's in a free pack. Do you know? So if I wanted another Doom bot, I've got to buy another free pack. I do think a Doom, like an army builder character, should never be hidden within a free pack or a multi pack. It needs to have its own
think
thing.
this is more for the people who've got another Doom. Hopefully, it's going to fit on all the other Doom heads, all the other Doom figures that we've got. So at least then you can have like 2 types of Doom on your shelf, kind of thing.
For me, I definitely want a second one, just to flank. Like if I'm going to have one Doom sat in his throne, then I'd want 2 Doom bots either side with their Terminator style heads. So yeah, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad that they included it, and I get that they've put it there just to appease people who may already have a couple of Dooms, but it's still an army builder, so I'm like, we could have stuck 2 in there just for those even numbers. That would have been good. But yeah, I think if Taskmaster also had a soft goods cape, I think that Taskmaster may have been everyone's favourite instantly. He's always been one of those villains that I really like.
Yeah.
And he is sought after on the aftermarket as well. We haven't had a comic Norman Osborn in the Iron Patriot for a long, long time as well. And so I do think those 2 are fair game. And Doom, we've had Lenny, but it's an A-list villain, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. So if you were going to make your own Cabal, like your own comic Cabal with like, let's just say 4 villains, who would be in the Rich M Cabal?
What, of anyone?
Any villains within the Marvel world, you just pick 4. Like, what are your 4 villains that you'd love to see in a team together?
See, I would put Doctor Doom in there because you need like
me too.
someone
in
boss and in charge.
Yeah.
So I would put Doctor Doom in there. I would probably put. Oh, damn! This is really hard. This is like so many. This is like so many like the box chocolates. Like, what do I open?
Yeah, the Rich M Cabal. I'm just curious. I'm just interested.
I chuck Emma Frost on it, even though she's kind of good now.
A bit anti-hero-ish, yeah.
And they were together on the original Cabal, so I'm just going with the original Cabal as it is now, yeah. So those 2, yeah. I'm gonna go with those 2. Then you need like someone a bit crazy, a bit mad, like to like shake it up a bit.
Yeah.
So I would put. Who's crazy and mad? I put Sabretooth. I love a bit of Sabretooth.
Okay.
Bit of Sabretooth
like that. He can be the brute as well. He can be the muscle.
Yeah. And then you need what other person do you need? You need someone like to teleport them or to. No, I'm gonna put Birdie. I'm gonna put Birdie on there with Sabretooth. Birdie is just a girl with psychic powers, blonde hair, and a big gun. There we go. Birdie, nice. Sabretooth, Emma Frost. And Doctor Doom.
There you go. The Rich M Cabal. I was just curious. And the chat can get involved with that as well. I'm just curious. Like, I always like seeing villains that reluctantly team up just because they both keep getting beat by the good guys. So they like reluctantly team up, and they always end up in imploding anyway. Just like the Cabal did with Doom and Norman Osborn. They ended up fighting and Doom left. So that's why the roster changes. But so yeah, you confirmed you're in on the pack though, right? You and Taskmaster's the highlight for you.
Yeah, when it goes up on Amazon UK, I will be ordering it.
Yeah, so again, it's not up on Amazon UK right now. So if you're in the UK looking to pre-order this, you will not find it. This is not there. But Brandon has confirmed that. Of course, it will go up. It's just a little bit slow. Also, I know there was a reaction to it being £100 or $99 in the US when it initially went up as well. But again, that was just an error. And Amazon always, like, even if you pre-order at that price, Amazon would always price correct to the lowest price available. So I think they have fixed it by now. So if you're in the US and you panicked, I'm not spending £100 on a free pack, again, it was just a mistake. They have went back and fixed it. I've seen some rumours out there, people thinking that was another reason it was meant to be a 4-pack, is like the Amazon had the pricing as £100, so maybe it was always intended to be a 4-pack and then something changed. So that does lead to the question now, Rich, just quickly before we move on to X-Men. We now have 9 of the summer program officially revealed with the Cabal 3-pack. So those 9 have officially been shown by Hasbro. The only thing that hasn't been shown by Hasbro as such is Odin. Now, the reason everyone is thinking it's Odin, we all know, we're not naive, is because Amazon, when they first put up the initial pre-orders, had this little bio which reads Wolverine, Scar, Odin, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man and Hulkbuster. The only one not to be revealed yet is Odin. So we're all assuming that that last pick is Odin. But is it just a single pack deluxe Odin? Or is it Odin in a 2-pack with that missing Loki that was also on Rectacular's list and it just got mixed up somewhere? So Do you reckon Odin, like that's my question to you, Rich, is Odin going to be just a single pack, or is Odin coming in a 2-pack or multi-pack of some form as well?
See, I'm a bit mixed with this one because I hope Odin is in kind of on his own.
Okay.
And then I can just miss him. Because if he was, depending on what version of Loki's he with, I might get it. I'm not like I don't need another Odin. I've got like the All Father swap heads bits on that.
Yeah.
So I've got that in my collection. Odin's not a character that I particularly need in my collection. Anthony Hopkins version is still on the stores in games if anyone's looking for an MCU version.
Yeah.
But yeah, if it came with a Loki though, and it was like a different Loki look to the ones we've got, then I would be up for it. Or even like classic Loki that doesn't look terrible, like the retro card with like the pink in it, if it was like sculpted and updated, then yeah, I might be into it. But yeah, Odin for me is not gonna sell this pack. So if it was in a 2-pack, that would be better for me.
Yeah, I reckon it may it may end up being with that Loki now, that rumored Loki. But again, all just rumor and innuendo until it's officially announced. Nobody knows. So this is just the community putting their pieces together. But again, anything can change. Like we all thought the Cabal was a 4-pack. It wasn't. It was a 3-pack. So until things are officially revealed, things can still be tweaked and changed, I assume.
This is a weird anniversary wave, though. Weird summer wave, because like in all the other ones, there's been lots of 2-packs, and this year there's just one. There's just Iron Man and Luke. So that's why, yeah, there probably will be another one.
That's what makes me think. There's usually a lot of bigger. This is an opportunity for them to do like a mixed range of prices, and they've already got 3 single-pack figures in there. Well, 4 including Venom. Hulkbuster's a different price range, so that don't count. But you've got Venom, Warbird, Astonishing Wolverine, and Superior Spider-Man. So like, maybe there's only one deluxe so far, I guess, with Scar. I guess a single-packed Odin may be on that same level as Scar. I don't know. We shall find out soon. Dan Yoon did say we would find out sooner rather than later, so I do think Odin will be revealed in some form within the next week or so. That we have usually been getting a pre-order or at least a reveal every week. So I'm assuming Odin probably will be next week's reveal. Because most of these are up for pre-order now, apart from Scar and Venom. And we know Venom's a Walmart exclusive, so Scar will go up for pre-order at some point. So yeah, Odin would have to be the next reveal on the lineup. Just jump into the chat real quick. Your boy's got toys. Says my Cabal is Dwight Stahl, Loose Collector, one of the 4 Horsemen, and Jin from Jada Toys. That is is that an evil toy Cabal? Would they create good or bad, Alexi? I'm not super familiar with everybody over there. So Brandon also confirmed that the price would be £75.99 for us in the UK, £75.99. And if you divide that by 3, it's about average for a price of a Marvel Legend these days, unfortunately. But it is what it is. Okay. Let me bounce back to that then. Let me close these. And we will discuss the 10th anniversary line. Maybe we will even rank them on our levels of anticipation when they officially all get announced. Rich is excited for that stream.
That might be a short stream.
But I did want to just say, I do have the Superior Spider-Man. He is here in my hands. So I'm not as quick as Robo. Again, I was waiting for my voice to heal a little bit. But I hopefully will have this up by the weekend. So Superior
Not Robo. What am I doing here? What?
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm not Robo. Robo's quicker than me. He has a nice blue background. I've got a white dish rag, as Parallel calls it. But it is Superior Spider-Man is here, and I will be reviewing him hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so if you have any questions or any particular comparisons you would like, let me know. I should have a comparison right here, thanks to Jay. Shout out Jay, last week's co-host with Dan. He let me borrow his old Superior Spider-Man. Look at the difference there between the two. Look at that. That is 10 years. Genuinely, 10 years difference. 2014, this came out in the Ultimate Green Goblin wave. 10 years later, we get this Superior Spider-Man from the 85th anniversary line. We now get his gauntlets. We now get his Waldos. He's got 2 heads. All the hands you need for a Spider-Man. Massive. That is the definition of an upgrade.
VHS to 4K
Ah,
TV, innit?
crazy. That is the definition of a Marvel Legends upgrade, all right? So I will do a full comparison. Maybe I'll even do one of my spinny round things where you can see the full comparison. That's right. I'll get the spinny round thing out for you. What's it called? A turntable. That's it. But anyway, that's coming. Let's get into some actual X-Men stuff then, shall we? Right. Thank you to everyone in the chat that was there sharing their Cabals. I will go back and read them on the replay. But we are now going to get into X-Men, the show. There you go. So Richard's got his sign ready. Oh, is that like a nice lit up, luminous sign type thing?
It lines up like.
Hey, oh, yeah, that is very nice.
Can't even see it in this.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, look at the lights up. Look at the lights up. Is that better? Hey!
We've got to be careful. Don't want to get copyright strike now. Right, so, Rich, now we can talk about the show in a spoilerific form. Let's just have your thoughts real quick. And again, you can mention particular scenes, particular moments, favourite episodes, favourite characters, any surprises. Go spoiler crazy here, Rich. We have seen X-Men 97 in its entirety now. What did you think? What's your final thoughts now the show is out and you've had a bit of time to digest? Did you enjoy it?
I thought it was great, Dan. I thought they did a great job. I think it's probably my favourite X-Men media thing ever.
Wow.
Like of anything. I think it was just did a great. It respected the original cartoon and built off it and then did its own things as well, which I think a lot of like modern day like reboots or relaunches of things, they kind of like miss the mark on. So I think it did a great job on that. I think it adapted stories from like I think the peak X-Men era, like the 80s and 90s. So things like Inferno, Operation Zero Tolerance, Fatal Attractions, they're all in there, but they're like the original X-Men cartoon did. It adapts them in their own way. It's not exactly the same. Like the Phalanx Covenant isn't exactly the same. Days of Future Past substitutes Kitty Pryde for Bishop. Much better in the animated series. And like X-Men 97 does that. Yeah, I loved it a lot. Far more than I thought. I rewatched it once as well. Just a really great series.
Yeah, look, I'm on the same page as you, where I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. Don't get me wrong, I was excited, but I thought that excitement was fueled by nostalgia more so than anything. But when I started watching the show, I was like, oh, okay, it's not a kid's show anymore. Like, they know their audience are people returning to this show 30 years later. And I do think it was catered. Like, don't get me wrong, young people can still enjoy it. Of course they can. It can still be a great introduction to the X-Men to a whole new generation. And that's great as well. But I do think it was very much catered to an audience that were already familiar with these characters. No origin stories, no crazy flashbacks. They didn't rub your face. Like, it's literally just a continuation of what we loved. But now, because it isn't got that solicitation of being on a Saturday morning and there's certain rules they can follow, they just could do more. And my only real criticism of the show is that, and again, this is just a fault of how good it is that I wish it would slow down a bit. Do you know particular storylines like we just whizzed through? And I do like I think certain stories could have lasted maybe more than a episode. But I think they condense some particular story beats to fit the narratives of the show. But just being an X-Men fan, I would have loved them to just digest and spend a little bit more time within those pocket stories that they were telling as they went through. But that's like, again, if those stories weren't good or they portrayed them in a terrible way, I'd be like, oh no, I don't want them to slow down. But that's how good the show was. It was like, no, slow down for a minute. So yeah, that was my only real criticism of the show. Otherwise, I liked it much more than I thought I was going to. I think I agree with you. It sounds like a very bold statement, doesn't it? Like, my favourite media or form of media for X-Men. Like, but it genuinely is so far. Like, the movies are great, but like, it's not the comic X-Men, if you know what I mean. Like, and the animated was always my gateway anyway. Like, these are my favourite character designs. Like, this is my introduction. Even the voices, like, I think the voice cast did great. Like, at no point did I go, hang on a minute, that's not the original Cyclops, or hang on a minute, that's not the official Professor X. Do you know what I mean? At no point was I taken out of it. I just was, from the get-go, I was just pulled in, and I was like, no, we're back into this X-Men animated world. And yeah, I'm excited for its future now, which hopefully there's a bit of it.
I think having so much of the original cast back, even if they weren't all playing the same roles, some were doing different roles, I think that helped. And I think the actors they got did a great job, because one of the things I'll say with What If is that sometimes it sounded phoned in. When they had like the actual actors, it sounded like they were like contractually obligated to do it, kind of thing. And it never felt like that with this. Like, Linozan as Rogue has been like that's the voice of Rogue I've always had in my head when I read Rogue in the comic books. So to see her back and like Rogue's arc in this is brilliant. If there's one thing I'll say, it's I think early on it felt like there wasn't enough Wolverine, which is a weird thing to say
Yeah.
in how much Wolverine there is. But then I think at the end, Wolverine, I think every single character, and I mean, there was, the original 8 X-Men, the Professor X, Magneto, Sunspot, Morph, Bishop, even Nightcrawler, like all the main titles by the end of it. Every single one of them has a moment to shine. And I think that is a great thing with such a massive cast. I think they definitely focused in on the X-Men. I know they were like guest stars and cameos and stuff like that, but it seemed to like focus in on this team. Like villain-wise, there wasn't like dozens of villains on screen. There was like bits and pieces, like you had new people like the Executioner appear. Obviously, the big bad of the season, Bastion, is like there. But otherwise, it didn't feel like too much. It felt like it was focused on the X-Men and the things that they did. I really like things like Jean and the Goblin Queen.
Yeah.
It was very like soap opera-y as well. Like it would end on teasers. You wanted to see the next episode, find out what happened. Like you had an episode 1, you had Magneto show up. Then you have the revelation with Jean Grey showing up. Like there's lots of things like that. Like it seemed to be building. Like even though every episode was like kind of standalone, there were bits like that carried on. Like you had Professor X in space, stuff like that. You had the ongoing story with Storm and Forge. And yeah, it all worked for me. It all worked a lot. I really, really loved it.
Yeah, like you said, every character had their own little piece of development, and you understood why every character made the decision they made. Like they filled in those gaps for you. There was always a moment, whether it was Cyclops talking to the president or to news reporters or whatever it was, like you understood his mindset at every point. And it did feel like it was a Magneto's. Like I felt like Magneto was like the mainstay. Like it was his sort of story in a way. It was like we're following his progression and his journey and like the twists and turns that takes. Like I definitely felt Magneto was one of the key characters, but like you said, every character got main point. And I see what you mean about Wolverine. What did you think about Morph? Is Morph not the most powerfulest X-Men on the planet now? Like if he could just like, that was never explained, but if that guy can genuinely just transform into anyone and also take on their power set, like how's he not like unbeatable?
So I thought they handled Morph well, because obviously before the show it was a big thing about him being like about them being non-binary and that thing, and that was going to be like a big issue. People were like, oh la 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 la, but it was handled beautifully. I thought they were an amazing character. I thought that they just had them like bringing in like Psylocke, Archangel, all these like little
cameo porn,
magic,
but we
loved
it. Yeah, but we loved it.
And it was just like, I know, as someone in the chat just wrote Morph doing everyone's powers, not having the real character there was overly done. I didn't think it was. I thought it was a good use of the powers to give like people little glimpses of those characters that we love, that maybe haven't been in the show before, or like Psylocke or Archangel who have been there before.
Andrew's
that we haven't seen.
Andrew Cheppel donated $20.
Thank you, Andrew.
Welcome back, Rich. Working now, but we'll watch later.
Andrew, I appreciate that. He says, welcome back, Rich. Working now, but we'll watch later. And I, by the way, Rich, I agree. I do think they didn't overdo it. I think they were very self-aware of what Morph was. And it was just a wink and nod to the audience. And you weren't meant to overthink it in the way I'm about to over-criticize. As like, if Morph could genuinely just change into anyone and take their power, at the end, why didn't he just turn into Magneto and just reverse what Magneto did? Like, it could have been so simple. Like, they would have skipped a whole episode.
So I think if it's like physically Morph can take on their powers, but they can't like if they've got psychic powers, then they can't have that type of thing as well. That what goes on.
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't overthinking it like that. It was just one of those. Do you know those funny memes you see online of like Morph's OP and stuff like that? But I think they were very self-aware of what Morph was, and I enjoyed every character. Like every character had their moment, and it's very rare, very very rare that I get genuinely emotionally invested in animated stuff. As much as I love it, it's like I don't know. It's still animated, isn't it? There's still that line in your head of like, well, it's not real life, it's animated. But episode 5, Remember Me, like it did, like it had that little emotional effect, and yeah, and I'll forever remember how I felt in that moment. And I do think the show, like for a show when a show makes you feel a particular way, it must be doing something right. So yeah, bravo. As I said, like so much to love about it. And yeah, there's a few nitpicks and people can make personal preferences on particular stories and stuff like that. But I think for the story they were telling, I think they executed brilliantly in the medium and in the time frames and sort of boundaries they had. So that's why us collectors out there, we have this itch to have this physical representation of the thing we love in plastic. It's just part of our nature. Like, so that's why we love Marvel Legends, because now we can have this, a piece of the thing this we loved, but in physical form for our shelves to look at and display and recreate these moments from the show. And Hasbro, to be fair, they've gave us, as they've been on the whole screen and the whole time, they've gave us 2 full waves of X-Men 97 so far, which you can tell are popular as they are very elusive. Like, these are not easy to get. Like, people have been complaining, like, one of the biggest criticisms from Marvel Legends in general in recent times has been, I'll wait for the sale. It will end up going on sale. I'll wait and find it at Ross, or I'll wait to find it at Game if you're over here in the UK. Like, people have felt like they don't need to jump on Marvel Legends out the gate because they just linger. Well, I think X-Men 97 is an example of those times being over, people, all right? Those COVID overstocks are definitely gone, and we're sort of back to normalising the market, and I think this show's popular. Maybe they were there at the start before the show, but now the show's out. People have went, oh, okay, I do want these figures. Went back, brought them, and now Wolverine's impossible to get. Rogue's impossible to get. Gambit's getting harder to find. Like, even Cyclops from Wave 2 now is getting harder to find. Like, if you want these people, like, they're not turning up at Ross. I'm just telling you now, all right? You can hate Hasbro all you want, but it's just not how it works. They're not turning up at Ross. If you want them, get them now, like, because it's your collection at the end of the day, and it is something they're going to be continuing. Dan Yuna's confirmed it. They're already planning it. They're already working on Wave 3. Wave 3, we may have some word or some knowledge of it by the end of the year, but we know we're not going to have them in hand until 2025. So that's what Rich has put together today, as he does in his super producer ways. He's put together a potential list of Wave 3 based off the show. Is that correct, Rich?
Yeah, so this is a Wave 3, kind of like mapping if they can do Wave 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through characters, and then when we get to 6, that'll be our Wave 3. So we're going to basically say, yes or no, will these be in a Wave 3?
Okay.
So we've kind of like split it down. So first of all, we've got like the mainstays, the X-Men. Then we've got a bunch of villains who've appeared. Then we've kind of got the allies to the X-Men. And then we've got alternate looks for the X-Men. And then hopefully by the end of it, we'll get 6. And we can put together a Wave 3. And I'm sure in the chat, you can vote on each one, whether you think yes or no.
Yeah,
Hit or miss.
Yeah, for sure. And again, like, you can tell, if you've seen the show, you can tell Wave 1 and 2 is only really based off the first couple of episodes, because the executioner isn't in any episode past, like, episode 4, I think. So, like, I don't think this wave, these 2 waves are any representation of the show past, like, maybe the third or fourth episode. So there's plenty of villains missing, plenty of X-Men missing, and just think, by the end of the show, and again, this is a spoilery show, so we can say this, by the end of the show, all the X-Men are in their older costumes. Like, they've all changed their costumes. Virtually every X-Men is in a different costume by the end of the show. So that's a whole wave within itself, really. Do you know? So the potential here for Hasbro to go off is going to be hard to be a people pleaser. Like, it really is. I do think whatever Hasbro do for Wave 3, like, there'll be some bangers in there and there'll be some head scratches in there as well. Like, but they have so much choice. So let's just jump straight in here.
No, just speaking about that though, about that everyone's in a new costume. That's such like a 90s like cartoon where everyone gets new outfits so they can sell the toys again. And that's why it's like Hasbro could basically do a whole wave of the last episode outfits. Like, everyone is like, you get a new outfit, you get a new outfit. Everyone has got a new look. And they're all like pulled from the comic books as well, which I like. They're all from like the original source, even though it might be updated or changed a little bit. It's like, I thought that was well done. And
I think I asked you the question once, like, why does, like, in the Krakoa era, Jean went back to her old outfit and stuff like that. And I think I asked you, like, why do they keep swapping their outfits? And you said that, like, the outfits are just like different costumes in a wardrobe, and at any point they can just go and pick one. Like, it's sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. It's just whatever the artist or the whoever's writing the comic wants to see. Like, the actual writer of the comic may prefer a character in a particular outfit and just make them wear it for no particular reason. Do you know, like, it's in their catalogue now, so like they can pick from it. So I don't mind that at all. Again, everything the comic did made sense. It was like, do you know, in the Power Rangers, I know this is a weird analogy, but you know, like when they go from Mighty Morphin to Zeo and they're in the new command center, the Mighty Morphin outfits are still there in the background. They're in those little tubes. That's sort of what was happening in the X-Men. Like, they went into like the new base, or they went to the old base, didn't they, or whatever, and all their old uniforms were in those little tubes and stuff. So like, again, it's a little wink and nod to the audience, but it makes sense within the contents of the show. It's like, yeah, they can change outfits. Yeah, we can give Cable a new outfit to match his dad. Like, why not? Why not? So, yeah, let's get into it. All right, so we're starting off with a Dan Who pleaser, let's be honest. We're starting off with Beast, Rich. Beast has to be in a way free. So we have had Beast in recent time, of course, on the retro card. He was in the lab coat. I genuinely, as much as I like Beast in the lab coat, I still think making him wear the lab coat on the orange card wasn't the way to go. Like, it was, they should have gave us lab coat Beast in a different format. I do think on the orange card it should have just been regular old blue Beast. Where is he? He's over here, Rich. I've got him in a plastic case and everything. There you go. Rich gifted me this for Christmas, and it's the original Toy Biz Beast on the orange card in a protective case now, beautifully unopened. I will cherish this forever, and that's what I wanted recreated in Marvel Legend form. But they give him a lab coat, so I'm still happy, but a little bit sad at the same time. So, but again, I'm just an example of being impossible to please. Like, we're always finding something to nitpick on. But Beast in this day and age, I reckon we could get a pinless upgrade and definitely a more accurate animated head. I do not think that Hasbro have yet to give us a Beast head which is accurate to his animated style. I know I've got a custom one from Anthony Customs, and I do genuinely think that Anthony Customs head is the best animated Beast head we have available to us. But that's a custom. It's a fix-up. And I know some people don't like that in their collection. Or do I usually, but I needed that accurate animated Beast. So I do think Hasbro need to give us an updated Beast, make him pinless, and give us an updated animated style head. Rich, do you agree? Beast has to be there, right?
Yeah, 100%. I think of all the characters in this list, I think Beast and Jubilee are the most obvious ones missing from the first two waves, because again, they were part of the original X-Men show. I think they probably weren't done because obviously Beast you had on that retro card and Jubilee you had as part of the VHS line. And again, their looks are not updated as much as some of the other characters. There's not a lot to do. So again, like doing reuse, because I think that first wave, like Rogue and Storm, very little was updated from the original figures. Like, they had the new legs, but the arms were still pinless. Gambit was all pinless. So I think it's definitely wave 2 was stronger with like new sculpts. So hopefully with wave 3, they could do an all pinless Beast. I think with some new sculpting, like you said, definitely a new head. So yeah, I think Beast has to be in wave 3. I think of all the characters on this list, Beast will definitely be in the third wave.
Yeah, again, they're getting the head. Like, I know with the X-Men that have been released so far, some criticism is like the head sculpts are a little bit stylized, or a little bit soft, a little bit like they're not sitting right with certain people. So I'm talking specifically to the Cyclops head. Like, I know people are happy with that Cyclops body without the cell shading, but the head just doesn't sit right with some people. So I do think it is very important that they get the head right. I know, like on other ones though, like the Wolverine, they've got it bang on. Do you know, like, so yeah. Gambit as well looks great. So it's not like they're all wrong. It's just, I don't know, some they've been able to execute better than others, but I do think Beast with his character
design, head is never good, Dan.
Yeah,
sometimes it is. Sometimes it is.
Well, I guess maybe. But I do think with Beast, because he's so the rest of the design is so simple. It's just a big blue furry body. The head is a big deal. They have to get it right. So target acquired, Rich. Target acquired. So that means he's in, right? He's in.
We definitely think Blue Beast is going to be in wave 3.
Okay. So target acquired means we think Blue Beast is going to be in wave 3, all right? And I am very happy about that. So moving on to what Rich has already mentioned. His favourites. Top of his list, just above Tigra. It is Jubilee. Now, Richard,
the queen of all X-Men. Come on.
So, to be fair, we can now talk about her getting a little outfit change in the show. Did you panic for a minute? They were going to make her what was it? It's a vampire, isn't it?
Oh, I was just like, oh, they're going to change outfits. They're going to give her a Generation X outfit. Yep. This is going to be amazing. No, they have a vampire Jubilee's outfit. a dark era of Jubilee times in comic books. But yeah, I mean, like, it's a subtle update. It's just the black catsuit with the pink collar underneath. She at least she's still got her glasses and a raincoat, and she hasn't got fangs. So that was a good thing. Fingers crossed, season 2 is now Jubilee becomes a vampire, goes to Transylvania. That would be disappointing.
Wow.
But yeah, but I think that if they do Jubilee, I think someone in the chat said about doing that costume. I think before we get that, we need the classic looks first to fit in with all the other figures. I think Jubilee, Morph, and Beast all need to be in their classic looks before they do like the updated looks from the finale.
Like you said, the last time we got Jubilee in a classic look was the VHS line. Now the VHS line again has cell shading, so it has its haters, if you will. But I do think this body, regardless of the cell shading, is worthy of an upgrade. I'm talking jelly-legged. The pins are big and thick, which again, like, I know some people ain't bothered by the pins, but when you compare it to what we can get now, it's just night and day. It's just night and day. So like, we'd want to update those pins on her knees. Do you want the double jointed elbows? We have not got a Jubilee yet with double jointed elbows. And Jubilee, I don't think has really ever got any decent effect pieces to accurately represent her power sets. Like, do you know what I mean? We need some new power effects.
If I was Hasbro, I would look at the Mond. I know the Mond figures are much more expensive and high grade than these, but I think this things you could do with like just the sparks come out of her hands or like that kind of like fire effect. Like in the season, she does different things, even with the like her powers. Like she uses them in different ways, especially in that
future version.
Episode.
That future version, she like makes these like spinny things. Yeah.
So there's different things you can do, and I think with Jubilee, like her boots are slightly different on this version, and again, she needs a new face sculpt. I think they've reused that Jubilee face sculpt so many times now. You could definitely do with an updated face sculpt. And if anyone is in need of a soft goods jacket, it would be Miss Jubilee. We should give Jubilee a soft goods. What? Why spend the budget on Doom? Spend it on Jubilee, a figure that would sell millions. You know it.
But Rich would buy the millions. That's what it is. In regards to Generation X, Emma Frost was found in the wreckage and in her crystal form, and we assume taken back to the mansion. So there could be some Generation X potential for like season 2, with like Emma being a teacher and some of the new students. Now the new ones are all off in different time zones.
Well, and Jubilee and Sunspot, if on that wall behind Bishop and Forge in the finale, it said like missing. They were both missing. So MIA, I think. So it was that, or AWOL. Maybe they were AWOL, but they definitely weren't there at the mansion. They weren't going to be part of like Forge and Bishop's new team. So it'd be interesting. I think next season is going to be interesting now how it ends as well. Everyone's off doing like different things.
They genuinely could make 3 different shows based off how it ended. Do you know?
Like, I wonder would they do that because this has been successful now. Will we get like X-Force 97, Generation X? I definitely could see another X-Men show spinning off on this type of thing.
There's definitely stories to be told. Quite a big portion of them have went back to the Ebb 7 or like Apocalypse origins, haven't they? Like a big chunk of them. So like, there's a story to tell there.
And you got Gina Scott are in the future with
Nathan,
as well. Yeah.
So yeah, crazy, and I've got again everyone who's left in regular time as well with Forge on the hunt. So yeah, there's 3 shows they could spin off there that I'd watch. I'd watch all 3. But right, Jubilee. So we are saying, Rich. Well, Rich is saying missing person. So you do not think they're going to put Jubilee in a wave 3?
So I don't think they're going to put Jubilee in a wave 3 because I think you're peaking too soon. If you put Beast and Jubilee in that wave, to a lot of people, that like original team is completed. Yeah. And we know that Hasbro do not like completing teams in a timely manner. So I think Jubilee is going to be wave 4. I think Jubilee wave 4, wave 5. I think they'll keep Jubilee. I don't think they're going to give her straight away. So I think if Beast is in wave 3, I think Jubilee would be in a later wave.
I'm trying to find my list again. I love showing this when I can. Shout out Jimmy Boy. But there you go. See, if wave 3 included Beast and Jubilee, Hasbro would have officially completed the 8 Jim Lee X-Men in the same format. It would be the first time it has ever happened in the history of Marvel Legends. And they could do it in the next wave of X-Men 97. But Rich is thinking Hasbro will be up to their old tricks and they will make us wait even longer, and they're not going to give us Beast and Jubilee in the same wave. Even though it makes complete sense for everybody, Hasbro might not do it. So Hasbro, if you're lurking,
and don't get me wrong, this is one that I would be happy to be wrong about. I would be much happier to get Jubilee in Wave 3, but I can't see it. The only way I see Jubilee in Wave 3 is for Beast then would be knocked to like a later wave. And I just think Beast, like, as much as it pays me to say this, Dan, I think Beast would sell more. So I think because of the gap there's going to be between Wave 2 and Wave 3, they're going to want to come out strong with like some like of the big characters. And I think to a lot of people, Beast is much more popular than Jubilee.
I genuinely think with that reuse potential now.
That killed me saying that.
Well, I genuinely think with the reuse potential of like repainting Wolverine to his brown suit uniform, like they can still add A-list characters into other waves without feeling the need to stretch what's left. Because think, in Wave 1, we got Storm, Wolverine, Rogue and Gambit, all 4 key X-Men in one wave. So I don't, as much as I completely agree with your logic, because that's how usually Hasbro do things. They make us wait, they stretch it out as long as possible, and then they change it up. We never even finish the bloody team. I do think on this occasion, Beast and Jubilee should and could be in the same wave, because
I don't, just because this is animation, and I think, like they said, they're only animating the second season now. So I don't think season 2 is going to come out next year. I think we're looking at 2026 for season 2.
Yeah.
So I think they've got like a whole year. I think obviously this has been like critically acclaimed. It's like popular. Like I think no one was prepared for it to be as big as it was, because the merchandise out there for X-Men 97 is quite low. There's not a lot of things out there like there has been for like even like What If, I think, had much more of a presence than X-Men 97's got. And like even like the comic books, like issue 2 of X-Men 97, like the prequel comic book, like that's already selling for like $15, which doesn't happen with X-Men comic books these days, just for the regular issue, not even for a different one. So I think there's definitely a demand for it. And I think Hasbro, they like money, so they're going to see that. And I don't think there's going to be just one wave of X-Men 97 next year. I think there'll be at least 2, maybe even 3, or at least 2.
There could
be
some
subsets.
Yeah, there could be some
deluxes, that kind of thing.
I was about to say that there could be some random single releases, like just randomly here and there, an exclusive here or there. And now they know if people want it, they could do it for sure. If they did do Jubilee, but she was in her updated costume with the black, would that annoy the shit out of you?
It would, but I'd buy it because I've got all the Jubilees on my shelf. But I need this one first. Like the thing is like that if that last episode's ended to go off, perhaps they're gonna be their looks for season 2. So we can get them when season 2 comes out, type of thing. So I think like fill out the classic looks first before you jump into that. Like if they play this right, they've got like years and years of this. If X-Men, like it's already been renewed for a 3rd season, so that's at least until 2027 we're going to be getting X-Men 97 figures.
T. Williams in the chat is saying that they are currently in post for season 2. So the animation we may get it sooner than we thought. Who knows? I hope so. I hope
fingers crossed. Yeah.
Okay, next up. Morph. Again, we were talking about him, the most overpowered X-Men in the world, we say kiddingly. But he is someone that you could sort of kit bash together now. If you take the AOA Morph and put that head on the VHS Morph, you can basically make an accurate Morph for your X-Men 97 display, which I know a lot of people have already done. So it's the most easiest layup for Hasbro. Because this is already pinless. Like, they just give us the updated Morph head. Like, this is a layup, right, Rich? They can make a Morph happen tomorrow if they wanted to. They just have to phone up the factory and tell them to swap some heads.
Morph isn't a hard figure to do, and I think for like Wave 3, it's probably the easiest one to do. I mean, they just have, like you said, the AOA head on the VHS body. That's all you need to get Morph. And again, I think of all the figures, if you were going to do a multi-pack deluxe, Morph would be the layup for that.
Yeah. Like,
you could do it as a STC exclusive with like, or not even STC exclusive, I think a lot of people would want this. You could do it with like Magic, Psylocke, Archangel, all the different X-Men that they turn into. Like, that would be an easy one. But I do think Morph will be part of the regular wave, because like Morph's in the titles. Morph's now part of the main team. They're not in the background anymore. They're not a villain working for Sinister. They are part of the X-Men. And again, it's one of the missing characters. From all the characters who are in the titles, it was like Beast, Morph, Jubilee, and Professor X are the 4 missing ones. So for me, I think Morph is definitely now part of the main team. So I would say they would definitely be in the
He's
third
in.
wave.
Target acquired. He is in wave 3. So yeah, Morph. Let's be honest. Hasbro making toys is a business, all right? Anyone didn't know that? I'm breaking the news to you right now. Hasbro is a business. It's an endeavor to make money from toys. So occasionally they like to, when they plan out a wave, I assume there's always a repaint in a wave. There's always the cheaper version in the wave. Morph could be that, but also what people want at the same time. Like, it's win-win. It's like, save yourself some money by giving us a redo, but it's also what we're wanting. So, like, put Morph on that retro card. We'll be happy with it. So, yeah, Morph, target applied.
Like, with Morph, hopefully they would come with a bunch, if nothing else, a bunch of alternate heads. Like, you could do, like, lesser characters, like Trish Tilby, Val Cooper, Senator Kelly, Gyrek, like the human-y characters who don't maybe deserve a full figure themselves. You could get them with that.
That's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Absolutely. They could even just give us a couple of random, do you know, like Sentinel, Prime, human heads. Do you know, like a couple of characters throughout the show? They could just do it. Morph does give you the free reign to be a little bit creative and give us something like that, and using Morph power set as an excuse to pack it in with him. So yeah, Morph is gotta be an easy layup. Plus, could be fun if given the right accessories. So yeah, let's make a Morph happen. Because I'm not the biggest fan of kit bashing. I try to avoid it. I like things to be official, so let's make it official. Give us a proper one. Next up, Sunspot. So you've gone for Sunspot in his regular outfit, but I'm assuming, is this the way you'd want him?
I think, yeah, because that's how he appeared in most of the
majority,
first season. Yeah. The thing with Sunspot is you essentially have 3 looks. You've got this one. You've got obviously his New Mutants uniform, and you've got his. We've got 4 because you could do powered up in this version, powered up in New Mutants again. So I'd want this one because this is how he spent most of the first season. Like Sunspot, like he never appeared in the main titles. He was like the newbie. He hadn't graduated onto like the main team yet.
Yeah.
But I think in season 2 he's gonna be like more part of it, especially like with him and Jubilee off on like their little own adventure. I think they're gonna try and get the X-Men back somehow. I want this version of Sunspot because, again, it's very much tied to the TV show. It's not based on any comic book look. It's very much a unique look for Roberto Da Costa. But I like it. I like it a lot. I would love the New Mutants version of this as well. Don't get me wrong. I think that classic New Mutants costume is missing. Like, Magic also appears in it in the animated show. So I think at some point, hopefully, we'll get both of them. But this is the version I would want of Sunspot. For me, that's my personal preference.
Yeah, I don't think people would be mad at all if this was the version of Sunspot we got. I think people are going to be more pleased with getting that character filled on the shelf. And like you said, the majority of the show, he is perceived in this look. So I do think for me as well, if I genuinely had to make that decision, this is how I'd want him displayed on my shelf, because he doesn't power up often in the show. It's only later in the show he gets more confidence and he shows off his power. Is there ever a scene in the show where he's dressed like this and he powers up just his arm or just his head? Like, is there an opportunity here where we could get a couple of interchangeable parts to just demonstrate his power set?
He definitely does it with his hands, doesn't he? In that bit with Jubilee. I'm not sure if he goes full on like Sunspot and his other costume. But it's hard to tell. But I mean, this is such a simple costume anyway. It's not like the most complicated look in the world that they need to do.
Well, if we got the powered up version, a criticism would be we want the regular one. Do you know, like, so it's like you can't win. So I don't mind having the regular one, regular Roberto, and then maybe a few powered up effect pieces just to have in his hand to sort of be a representation of his power set. And then we can get a full powered up version down the line. But I do think, like you said, he was sort of like the Jubilee of this version of X-Men, where he's the newbie sort of finding his way onto the team. At one point he wanted to wander off with Magneto, didn't he, for a little bit? So I bet the X-Men keep that in the back of their mind. But you have said missing person. He won't be in wave 3.
No, I don't think so. I think with Morph and Beast, if we're going to say those are in wave 3, then I think like Jubilee's going to need another X-Men for wave 4, wave 5. So I think Sunspot will be kept for later on.
Interesting. All right, we'll keep going. So next up, Professor X. So we genuinely started off the season thinking, well, we know he didn't die at the end of the show because he went up to the ship. But the start of the show, like the genuine start of X-Men 97, everyone acted like he was dead. So I wasn't sure if they were retconning it and going, well, no, he did actually die. But they duped us all, Rich.
That's what because obviously, like, there's a bit of, it's not much, but there's a bit of period of time between the last episode and this one. It's not like it starts exactly the next day. So I thought, oh, maybe something's happened in space, like Professor X has been killed, and that's going to be, like, brought up, like, later in the season. So, like, yeah, I thought that as well. It was weird how they were saying it, but then, like, they kind of addressed it, and then obviously we see him then on the Shi'ar homeworld in his, like, Shi'ar look that he's got from, like, Uncanny 275. And then obviously he comes crash landing back to Earth, like Lilandra did in the original series, in that, like, space mask, and he takes it off and he's there. He's even in his, like, Savage Land suit at one point. He's in his lab coat at one point.
Yeah.
And we see him, like, both in this hover chair, and also he's in his, like, wheelchair as well, and he is, like, normal wheelchair as well. So there's a lot of different looks you can do for Professor X. I would have gone with the Shi'ar look for Professor X, because I think that would fit with, like, the TV show, like, better than maybe this one to do.
Yeah.
But I think because of the rumors are that that's coming out on a retro card, I don't think they're going to then do it again next year, which I think is also a problem. The Cable figure, when we get to that, that's going to get with, like, redoing that blue suit so soon. I think in a way, like, Hasbro, because they didn't know a lot of this was happening, I think they might have held back on some of the things that they've done. But again, that just, like, they're much wanted looks for the figures. So I think there's no harm with that. And a new Professor X is never due. Maybe with a slim down chair that can somehow fit on a blister pack. Again, Professor X might need to be one that's going to be a
They
deluxe.
made it work in the Toy Biz days. Like, they put him on a, they put him in his thing in the, like, in the Toy Biz
His
days.
clamshell was huge.
Yeah,
like that.
they made it work. They made it work. I also think Professor X in this look, it's our mind's eye, Professor X. Like, I know he changed up the costume throughout the show, but if you're going to have one Professor X on the shelf to represent the X-Men, it has to be this. And I know we already technically have a comic Professor X in a yellow hover chair in our collection, but it's not this version. The version we've got is a bit more bubbly. It's a bit more round. We haven't really got this streamlined, straight cut version. So I do think I would prefer this stylized look for Professor X in my collection. Also, I think the head sculpt, they could probably do a little bit more accurate as well from the animated show now. So yeah, like you said, I do think that we are going to get other versions of Professor X. This year, we're definitely either going to get the jumpsuit or the She-Hulk version. Like, it's one of the two. But in regards to X-Men 97, as a representation, has to be the yellow hover chair. Forever and a day, that'll be my mind's eye of Professor X because of that. So yeah, it gives them an opportunity to give us an updated hover chair as well. Because they've only ever gave us one hover chair in the Marvel Legends line, and it was a bit bubbly. And though it works for the display, I've got it on my shelf. But the animated one was always a little bit more streamlined. So, yeah, I'd like to see them do that. And make the blister card thicker. Who cares? Like, just put him on it. It makes sense. So, yeah, Professor X. And you are saying he won't be in the wave, though. They're just going to go, no, he's not. So it won't be wave 3 Professor X.
No, I think Professor X is going to be later.
You're brutal,
as well.
Rich. You're brutal.
I can't see that, again, being in wave 3. I think, like, of these 5 characters, I think everyone we've seen so far, they're going to get a figure at some point. But I just don't think they're going to put this 5 and then a villain as wave 6. You kind of, like, it's all out there. Like, I think they're going to, like, edge this out a bit. Like, release them slowly, a slow drip to, like, fulfill people, like, what they want. I think as well, like you said, Rogue and Wolverine have sold out. I think they need to bring back those characters. Like, we've already had alternate look for Magneto, but other characters can get alternate looks as well. I think we need to, like, fill those gaps in and slowly, like, build them out, which I know people are not gonna be happy with. Like, again, if these are all in one wave, I would be happy too. But it's not about making me happy. This is about playing the Hasbro game, and I don't think Hasbro will do that. So that's why I don't think this is going to be in wave 3.
Yeah, for the record, these ain't mine or Rich's actual choices. We are like Rich says, we are trying to second guess what Hasbro would likely do here, and we never think Hasbro. They don't always do the right thing. They get some things right that they never get credit for, but let's be honest, when it comes to character selection, it's hardly ever always bang on. Next up, Mr. Sinister. So again, the last time we got Mr. Sinister, he's right here next to me, was the first release in the VHS line. So the first figure we ever got to represent the animated show, technically in the modern era of Marvel Legends, was a cel-shaded Mr. Sinister, which, to be honest, was just a cheap way for them to reissue the Mr. Sinister they already made in the Wendigo wave prior. Was it the Wendigo wave? I think it was. But yeah, like, so the Mr. Sinister we have is pretty decent. It's pretty good, but it's not pinless. Again, the head sculpt could be better suited to the show. There's definitely tweaks and changes they could make to a new Sinister, and he is an ever-present in the show. Like, he's not the big bad. Like, he's not the big bad of the show, as we all thought he might be, but it's definitely a through line throughout it. So he would find his place within a wave.
From like all the promotional material and stuff, he was definitely the villain that they were like. Obviously, Bastion then turns out to be the big bad, but he's like hidden behind that.
They wanted us to think it was Sinister, yeah.
And that's why I'm surprised that Mr. Sinister wasn't included in the first 2 waves, because they was in all the posters, promotional materials, T-shirts. Sinister is in there in all of them. So that's why I'm quite shocked that he wasn't in one of the first 2 waves. I'm surprised they went with like Executioner and Goblin Queen. I'm happy they went with Goblin Queen and Executioner, but I thought Sinister would have been in one of the first 2 waves. So that's why I think Sinister is going to be in the next wave. Like you said, it's been a while since that Wendigo figure. The VHS figure was a Pulse exclusive as well. It wasn't like a wide release. So I definitely think an updated, slimmed down Sinister with a new cape, with a new head sculpt, like it would be a great, like, for this series on that card to fill in. And again, he is key to like a lot of the stories. He's key to Goblin Queen, key to the creation of Cabal, key to everything that's going on with Cyclops and Jean Grey. And then obviously he's linked ties to Bastion then into Operation Zero Tolerance come into play by the end of the series as well.
Yeah, and the old one, so like it has the cape, and you can see a lot of the cape is like stuck together. It's sort of like glued into clumps, like clumps of these tethers, where you can see the stylized version of Sinister in the show. Very much everyone's a single strand, so they could definitely upgrade the cape so it's a little bit more accurate to what we see in the promo there. And also this one had the pins as well, so even just making him pinless would be a little upgrade. But like Rich said, he's a little bit more streamlined in the show. He's a little bit more like, he's not as wide, not as thick. So there are definitely some upgrades they can make to Sinister. The previous ones we've got are still solid representations of Sinister for our collection. Like, undoubtedly they're not terrible figures by any means, but for the show there's definitely some stylized changes they could make. So does Rich think he will be in wave 3? You do think he will be in wave 3. So this is the villain representation of wave 3, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, every wave has had a villain so far. We had like Magneto, even though he turned out to be working with the X-Men, like in his villainous costume in wave 1. And then obviously we had Goblin Queen and Executioner in the second series. So I think, yeah, Mr. Sinister of everyone is going to be in there. I think, like, and obviously there's another big bad which we'll get to in a minute, but I think Sinister being so front and center and so integral to the plot of season 1, I think he has to be in there. Yeah, like Cute Cult says, you could do his alternate, like, decrepit head.
Yeah, his old man head, yeah.
Put that with Morph. You could even put that with Morph.
Yeah, that'd be a great packing with Morph. Great packing, yeah. Because if
I think... Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, if you know, it'd be a nice little Easter egg with Morph. It's like, what head's that? Oh, it's Sinister's old man head. You're like... Yeah.
But I think with Sinister, they need to get him out early, because Sinister's story, of all the people and characters, villains and heroes in season 1, I think Sinister's arc is kind of complete now. Yeah. I don't think we'll be seeing Sinister as a focus going forward in the series. I think Sinister is kind of done for a bit. Maybe they'll bring him back later, but I think for now, Sinister's had his big moment. So I think get him out there like straight away while season 1 is still fresh in people's minds.
Yep, I get that. Okay, cool. So Sinister. So here's Bastion. Okay, so this is the big bad that they were keeping secret from us. So, of course, he was the through point throughout the whole season. He was the one turning everything behind the scenes. And he was teased to us in a few images. Like in early episodes, there was images of Bastion seen, but everyone just assumed it was an Easter egg. Like, if you knew who Bastion was, you'd see the image and be like, oh, that's an Easter egg to Bastion. No one actually thought Bastion was the big bad of the show, but it turned out he was. And even his look evolved, especially the last couple of episodes. He sort of gave himself a little bit of an upgrade. So when it comes to action figure potential, there are plenty there. But the last time we got Bastion was part of the Marvel Legends HasLab Sentinel. And we all know the Sentinel is probably the only Marvel HasLab that is holding its value, if not much higher. Like, you can't get a Sentinel for like less than double what it was at retail. Like, the Sentinel is holding its market value, and that's the only way to get Bastion. So there's a lot of collectors out there that do not have a Bastion in their collection in any form. So I do think this is a loophole that Hasbro can get away with giving us a Bastion figure without really pissing off the people who got the HasLab, because in Hasbro's mind they'll be like, oh no, that's a comic one in the HasLab. This is an animated one in the animated show, much like the way they got Madeline Pryor in the X-Men 97 wave. Like, they had that lined up with the Engine of Vengeance that never happened, but they managed to find a way to get her out there via the medium of X-Men 97, the animated show. So I think Hasbro are going to be eager to do that with Bastion, especially considering he is the big bad and spoilers are out. So I guess the question is, Rich, will they give us this simplified version of Bastion, or is there an opportunity to give us this and then in the future a deluxe with the upgrades and the wings and all the metal face and all of that?
I think they will give us this Bastion, because like you said, a lot of people who missed out on the HasLab, they're never going to be able to get that Bastion. And I think if they did a comic version of Bastion, that would piss off a lot of people. Yeah. And again, it would make future HasLab be like, well, I don't need to get this HasLab. Yeah. I don't need to wait for this figure. But again, doing it as a comic version, as an X-Men 97 animated version is a way to get around that. I think, Phoenix says in the chat, though, there is a way to do it as like the updated deluxe, like Super Bastion from the last series, where you get like all metal, the wings. Yeah. I think that would piss off people less as well. So maybe that is a route that they would go around doing it. But I just think for like his presence in the season, and like how he is the big bad, I don't see how you can't do a Bastion. It would be like doing like a Star Wars line and not doing Darth Vader. He's the big bad. He's the one behind it all at the end of everything. Like, I think you need a Bastion figure.
In regards to all the X-Men characters that are in the show, like, yes, Wolverine and Rogue are like triple retail, but if you really wanted them, you can go to eBay right now and buy them. Like, they're out there. They're just expensive. The scalpers have got hold onto them. Bastion only came with the HasLab, and a lot of people want to keep hold. Like, Bastion's not as accessible to get in regards to having that character filled in a Marvel Legends collection. So I like we're saying, I do think this is a loophole that Hasbro could do without, again, you're always going to piss off somebody. It's just the way it is, but it would make sense. Like, you couldn't be mad at it, because it's like, okay, he is a big part of the show. It makes complete sense for him to be in an X-Men 97 wave. And it is technically a different representation of Bastion, because it's animated to represent the animated show. And the one we got with the HasLab previously is a comic version, and that's technically a Sentinel Prime anyway. You can swap the heads. So I do think Bastion is high potential for an X-Men 97 wave. What does Rich think? Let's have a look here. Missing! You're like, no, he's not wave 3 though, Rich.
No, I don't think wave 3. I just don't think he's going to be there. I think Sinister, wave 3, and then I think Bastion again, hold out for a future wave. Again, I'm not, like, so far, all these characters, we definitely going to get figures of at some point, I think. But I just don't think they're going to put Sinister and Bastion in the same wave. Because if you think about it, they are both the two main villains of the season. So I don't think you're going to get them both in one go. I think it'll be either Series 4 or 5 for Bastion.
Interesting. Okay. Rich is being harsh. This wave is harsh. Deathbird. Now, we have seen a few people in the comments already bring up Deathbird. So this is the sister of Lilandra, who we already have in Marvel Legends form. We got her this year. A great figure, to be fair. But Deathbird we don't have in comic form or animated form in our collection anywhere. So this is absolutely an opportunity for Hasbro to sort of have a fair reason to give us Deathbird in our collection. And use the X-Men 97 show as the way to do that. And I wouldn't be mad at it, because I do like her look in the show. And it's quite very similar to the comic look anyway, to be fair. So, yeah, and it's a female. Like, let's be honest, we don't get many villain females. And she's definitely villainess throughout the show. Like, she's the reason Charles has to come back to Earth, doesn't she? She's like, doesn't want him and Leandra to live happily ever after up there on the Shi'ar Empire. So, this would be a great figure. Like, this gives us potential for, like, we could have her in a box set with some of the Shi'ar Imperial Guard, like, because we had loads of them appear in the show. But yeah, Deathbird, like, make a great Marvel Legend, right?
It would make a great Marvel Legend. And going off the second series, like we said before, like Madeline Pryor and Executioner had never had comic book figures before.
Yeah,
they were there in the animated thing. So I think it is definitely open that we can get characters for the first time in a second wave. And like, we know that female figures don't always sell the best. Red Widow. But I think a Deathbird for the first time in the animated style would sell. I think a lot of people want that for the collection. I don't think the Lilandra from the 2-pack is too far off an
Not
animated
at all.
looking Lilandra either. So you could definitely work them together. And if that Shi'ar Professor X is coming out later this year as well, and Gladiator's already got, you can get a little Shi'ar display going on. I don't think it's that too much.
Absolutely add this Lilandra to your X-Men 97 shelf right now, and it would work. It absolutely would. We're just missing we can just need a nice updated Charles Xavier. But yeah, this Lilandra is a great figure. One of the early figures we got this year, completely pinless, updated head sculpt. Like, this is a solid representation of Lilandra for your Marvel Legends collection. And again, it's your collection, remember. You create your own rules. Like, you can have this as an animated Lilandra, a comic Lilandra, whatever you want. So you can definitely world build a little bit. And I do think, like Rich said, if they use this route as an opportunity to give us characters that are harder for them to justify in other ways, because again, every character has to get approved by Hasbro, and Hasbro may not think a character will do well and say no thank you. So if they can be like, oh look, they're a big part of the animated show and that's their way of getting them in the line, then do it. Give us this. If this is the way we need to get a Deathbird, make it happen. But hopefully she isn't too far off the cards anyway, because I know they've been teasing completing more characters off the Uncanny 275 cover, and she's definitely a part of that. She's a big part of that story. So hopefully this character, whether it's the animated line or comic, we get her in figure form at some point, because I do think she is worthy of a release for sure. But does Rich think she's going to be in Wave 3? You don't! Not going to be in Wave 3.
Not in Wave 3. I think Deathbird, because again, we didn't put Professor X in Wave 3 either. I think if she comes, she'll be paired with Professor X, because like you said, they have that like kind of rivalry in the TV show. I think it's too soon to get another Lilandra after that 2-pack. And again, it's so similar to the animated look. So I think Deathbird will appear whenever Charles Xavier appears in a wave. So I'm guessing 3 or 4 for Deathbird.
Interesting, okay.
Not 3 or 4, 4 or 5, isn't it? Because
Okay,
this is 3.
4 or 5, yeah. Okay, if anyone catching up on the show or joining late, we are going through the potential of what could possibly be in a Wave 3 of X-Men 97, all right? So we're being harsh with our selections, but it's because we're trying to think like Hasbro. We're like, okay, what would Hasbro do? And let's be honest, they don't always get it right. They don't always get it right. So let's get into Cable. So I think, talking about Hasbro, they got very lucky with the timing of the Capcom Cable in the recent release. So it's not even out in the UK yet officially. I think it's due in a week or two's time. But the Zabu Build-A-Figure Wave Cable is obviously being dubbed the Capcom Cable. So they released that, like, I think as part of their regular Build-A-Figure waves, etc. And then luckily, in the show, Cable got a costume upgrade to that exact costume, so it made the Marvel Legends super desirable. Like, I've really put him on my shelf. Like, in the X-Men team, he looks great. So, like, the question is, I guess, Rich, Cable's obviously a key character. He's absolutely worthy of his place in an X-Men 97 lineup. But do you give him this look that you've got the image of, or do you jump straight to the blue and yellow? What do you do with Cable here?
I definitely think they need to do this look. I think the blue and yellow, I as you know, that's my favorite look for Cable. I love it. I love that we get that figure like coming out in the UK, like you said, in 2 weeks time.
Yeah.
But I think for this, it needs to be this classic look. I know Cable gets his uniform in the end, and that's like one of the lines where he's like, "What would you prefer, like black leather, like arcing back to the original X-Men movie?" But I think this version of Cable with his garish, like primary colors and blues and straps and guns and pouches, like this is the one that we need. Like, we can get to the other Cable later on. This is definitely the version of Cable that we need, that I would buy, that I would want. And it's kind of like, it's not exactly X-Force Cable, because I think someone did a good comparison online. It was like, in the comic books, Cable is kind of like a bodybuilder, like Arnold Schwarzenegger with these like big muscles, and this is more like CrossFit Cable. He's like still bulky, but he's leaner. He's not as big Arnold Schwarzenegger as he is. So I think this would be a good look for Cable. They definitely need to do some new sculpting on this, like a bunch of guns with him as well. But I mean, he's so key to the series, tied to like Goblin Queen, to Cyclops, to Jean, to Sinister, to Bastion, to Bishop. Like, there's so many ties to different things. So I would love this Cable. And I think of all the supporting characters they're not part of the main X-Men team, Cable is probably the most central to it.
Would it shock you if I said that, Rich, you have technically already got a Nathan Summers X-Men 97 version of Cable in your collection?
With the X-Force one, is it? Oh, the baby, the little baby, of course, Dan.
That's Nathan Summers.
There we go.
So it's not Cable in his gear, but it's the same character. That is technically Cable. Technically, that's a Madeline Pryor and Cable 2-pack right there. So we've already got him. We don't even need him. So I'm assuming he's going to be missing. He is missing because we've already got him. We've already got him in the list now. I'm only joking. I'm only joking before people start attacking me. It's just. I'm not wrong though. That is Cable, but it's a baby representation. Of course, it'll be more fun to have him in his outfit. And I agree with Rich. If they're gonna do a Cable, don't give us the blue and yellow. We've got that in comic form. Let's get because he dressed like this during the regular X-Men animated show as well. He never wore the blue and yellow in the X-Men animated show, and he appeared in that quite a lot as well. So I'd prefer him in his outfit that he wore the most. So let's keep going. Next up, so Forge. So Forge has his own little mini story with Storm. He helps Storm get her powers back. And then obviously we find out he's been intertwined with the government, and he helped build the weapon that took away her powers in the first place. And he's now sort of back at the mansion at the end of the series, trying to piece together what happened with the X-Men and stuff. So he's definitely a character worthy of being in figure form. We've had a couple of Forges. We've got one recently in the Uncanny X-Men 3-packs that we got last year, and because his costume design is so similar anyway, that could work as a Forge anywhere in your collection, because it's basically his main costume design look, which you see right here. So a single packed updated Forge, I guess they could give us the Uncanny X-Men version with maybe a new stylized head, few different accessories, and give us some single packed rather than him being trapped in that Uncanny X-Men 3-pack, the way they could do it. But what do you think, Forge?
So yeah, I think Forge, for those reasons, like you said, being in that 3-pack with the update body ready to go. If there was a figure you want to get out the door and get that like wave 3 out as quick as possible, Forge is like Morph is definitely one you're gonna put in there. Like Forge costume is not too different from that version, as you can see. Like this is from the final episode.
They need to update his boots, give him cowboy boots, give him a sort of different strap over the front, and definitely update
They've got to give
head.
him his sash like going over the shoulder rather than that. And definitely a new head sculpt. But it's not too hard to pull that off. So I think Forge will definitely be in a wave 3 because he is integral to the story as well. He's integral to Storm's journey. And then obviously going forward, he's going to be like leading this new team of X-Men. But with Forge, I was annoyed when he first met Storm, because I was like, hang on, he was in X Factor in the original series.
They've met.
They've met before. Then I went back and watched the X Factor episode, and Storm is off somewhere. They say it at the start. Storm isn't actually in that episode. And then obviously in the Phalanx Covenant, where he works with Beast, like Storm is like trapped in that one as well. So technically they got around there, which I thought was quite good, because I was like, first of all, I was like,
they weren't wrong.
Why does Yeah, they weren't wrong. I was like, why does Storm not know? Yeah, this is stupid. She's met him before. But then they don't actually have a scene together in the original series. And obviously, the X-Men don't talk to each other. Why would they bother? Why would they tell them about new people?
It was the 90s. No one had cell phones then. Just think they're still in the 90s, technically, I guess. Quinn Comics in the chat says, greetings, Dan and Rich. Hope you are having a quintastic day, my friends. Excelsior. Thank you very much, Quinn Comics. We appreciate that. RJ says, hey, Dan, I'm planning on getting all 10 of the X-Men 85th anniversary offerings that are available for pre-order. Aside from Superior Spider-Man, now, what release are you most hyped for? We will talk about that at the end, my friend. We are on an X-Men 97 roll. So, Forge, do you think he's going to be in Wave 3? I'm going to predict you say yes, based off he's easy to do, get him out quick with a few upgrades. There you go, yeah. So, I'm assuming that's what you think.
Definitely yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So again, it is just the boots. Give him a better updated head, because the Forge we got doesn't even seem to be the same nationality as the Forge from the show. They can definitely do a more accurate job on that, and then update the sort of the pouches and whatnot. But yeah, I'd take it for sure. Take it for sure. Right, next up, interesting one here. So we're moving away from the X-Men and getting more into like the sort of human side characters, and Val Cooper, the sort of liaison to the government. She does survive, doesn't she? Because she leaves that party and then she's there at the end with Sinister and stuff, right? Doesn't she free Magneto, right, as well?
Yeah, she frees
Yes.
Magneto. She gets out of Operation Zero Tolerance, and then she's with like the X-Men at the end as well. And when everyone goes missing, she's
okay, cool. So she, in regards to Marvel Legends form, let's think how could they do this. So they've definitely gave us female characters in pencil skirts before. That's something they've done because they can never usually stand up. They're usually wearing a shitty little pair of heels, and they just can't stand with their pencil skirt and heels. I don't know if that's how women feel in real life, but in 6-inch Marvel Legends form, they never bloody stand. So, but they've definitely done it before. Who have we got? We've got I'm just trying to have a look.
Moira McTaggart.
Moira, yeah, for sure. Aunt May, Agent Carter as well. All got similar outfits, so they're not scared to do a classy female in Legends form. But would they? Is the question I'm asking. I'd buy Val Cooper. Of course I would. It's world building, isn't it? It's a character. It's world building. But do you think Hasbro would think she'd sound good enough to put on a retro card single release? What do you think, Rich?
See, for me, Val Cooper, she's key to the series, and like obviously she's voiced by the original actress of Jean Grey. She's got some great speeches in there, really well acted. Her story arc is great. Starts off good, goes over to the bad side, but eventually she helps.
Magneto was right
in the comic.
Says,
yeah,
right?
Magneto is right. She's got that line.
Yeah.
So she is integral to the TV show. Again, she's got two looks. She's got this look. She gets a sash at the Hellfire Gala, and Emma Frost calls her out for being like a basic bitch. And then she gets her like Operation Zero Tolerance look as well when she's working for Bastion. I do not think that they will do a Val Cooper. But I would love a Val Cooper, at least as an alternate head for Morph. Check it in there.
Put that head in with Morph and we'll make it work.
Like when you said about X Factor, the 90s X Factor being finished now with Wolf Spain, technically we still need Val Cooper.
She was never
the government liaison.
She was the liaison, but technically she never, like, if you go through them comic pages, she's never out on the field. She's part of the team, but she sends them on their way. So
she later
does
on,
have a uniform. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does get a uniform. Like after the Age of Apocalypse, when it all comes back,
because
like
Forge takes her over from her when she leaves the X Factor team, right?
Yeah, but then she eventually comes back again. She's back and forth in X Factor quite a bit through that run. In the later Howard Mackie run, she's there. I love Val Cooper.
She's still a character we have never had in Marvel Legends form ever. Like never had an action figure. Like, and again, I love adding new characters. Again, it's all about world building. So regardless, is she toyetic? Okay, fair enough. She's probably not the most toyetic of X-Men characters, but is she a character worthy of being on the shelf? Absolutely. So. But even though Rich loves her, I do think he's going to go wise here and think she probably is unlikely to be in a wave 3 for X-Men 97. So let's have a see. And yeah, she's a missing person. She is not going to be in wave 3 according to Rich's list. For the reasons I've basically said, right? Just
got my Hasbro hat on, Dan. Yeah. Got my little Hasbro hat on. Women in business suits. It's not going to sell, Dan. Look at all the Lena from the WWEs that like filled the shelves for years. They did it in a blue dress. They did it in a red suit. No one bought
I think I brought
no one's going to buy Val Cooper.
I got Lana in her wedding dress to go with Rusev. I loved Rusev Day, to be fair. They should have done
a camouflage one. I think I got a camouflage
one. That was a WrestleMania one, I think. She on the tank with Rusev. Anyway, only J Toy Collection UK knows what we're talking about right now. So let's keep going. Right, next up. Okay, so now we're getting into some alternative outfit choices. So like we said right at the start of the stream, you could just re-release the whole same wave again. Like you could do wave 1 again. Where is it? Here. But give Stormin an update, in Wolverine an update, and I guess you could give Gambit in a white tuxedo and Rogue in her green outfit with Gambit's jacket. Do you know, like you could literally do an alternative look for every main character.
You could do Magneto again, chained up with just his pants on. There you go.
David Evan Smith is already pre-ordered.
David Evan Smith will be over that.
David Evan and Smith, all 3 of them are pre-ordering that. But of course, Wolverine in the brown suit. I have been saying all year, regardless of X-Men 97. We need an updated brown suit Wolverine on these new Wolverine bodies. We have got a couple of updated Wolverine bodies now that are pinless, and the brown suit Wolverine is a lot of people's favourite, and he now wears it in this show. They have to, at some point, give us an updated brown suit Wolverine. Is this the avenue they choose to do it, Rich?
See, I think this is essential. It's one that they definitely need. But like I said earlier, I think it's too early maybe to get this look. I think maybe this is like wave 5 or 6, or even for series 3 if these are going to be the costumes going forward. However, with Wolverine, obviously the big thing is he gets his adamantium sucked out of him. So it might be in season 2 he goes into like his feral Wolverine where his like nose falls off, he's got that bandana and he's got the bone claws. So this might be the only chance they get to do that look.
Yeah.
Again, it's a classic Wolverine look. They've got that all new body that they did for the animated Wolverine.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a simple reprint of that.
Easy
it's not
reprint.
like, of all the ones, it would be easy. So it would be easy to do in Wave 3. And like we said, Wolverine's already sold out. So it would be a chance for people to get Wolverine again. But I don't think this is going to be the Wolverine they're going to get, Dan. I'm going to go with a no.
It's a no. It's a missing person. So like Rich says, I do think at some point we're going to get an updated brown suit Wolverine. It is the most easiest repaint for them to do. And people would buy it. Even people that ain't watching the X-Men animated show would still buy an updated pinless brown suit Wolverine. Because it's just, that's a lot of people's mind's eye of Wolverine. For me, it'll be the Tiger Stripe. But for people reading comics in the 80s, it was probably the brown suit Wolverine. So it's definitely going to happen. But Rich doesn't think in the X-Men 97 Wave 3. Remember, we're trying to second guess Hasbro on Wave 3 here. So, yeah, unlikely. Still plenty of new characters they haven't done yet before they get round to repaints. Even though they've already done 2 Magnetos, so you never know. But Rich thinks it may be Logan.
Yeah, I think if anyone's going to be... I don't think there's not going to be Wolverine in Wave 3. There's 100% going to be a Wolverine in Wave 3. I just don't think it's going to be that one yet. I think that's something they're going to save up for a future wave, or even a box set of alternate looks from the finale.
If they do a box set, that would be the right way to do it. But they ain't got the guts. You ain't got the guts, Hasbro, to do an X-Men 97 box set. Dare ya?
But this Wolverine, I think, like, he doesn't get that much airtime in this in the show.
Not in this season. Yeah, not in this.
Yeah,
season.
He's got like his black tight t-shirt on in some bits, but there are a few bits where this appears, and I just think this harkens back to the original series. Like, this is the Wolverine, the civilian Logan look that I think everyone thinks of. So I think get it out there, give it to people, and people who missed out on that Wolverine figure, you've got his civilian look. You've still got a Wolverine for your shelves, and he can like pine over Jean Grey on his bed. I would absolutely buy this, and I think this will be in Wave 3.
Yeah, this is Mondo have already done this in the 1/12 1/86 scale, and it's definitely, if you picture Wolverine without his without his clothes on, but let's not go that far, without his
David Evan Smith, is that you? What?
without his costume on, in his civilian look. This is the look you go. This is the look. This with the plaid shirt and the jacket of the collar. So yeah, this could be a Marvel Legend potential all day long. The thing is with that, I always get frustrated because if we get one X-Men character in their civilian outfit, I want another one. Do you know, like, otherwise it's just going to be a lost Wolverine Logan just wandering the shelf on his own. Like, if they're talking about a box set, that's the box set Hasbro don't have the guts to do. A civilian outfit X-Men box set. I dare you. You just won't do it, Hasbro, because you don't got the guts. People would buy it, though. I promise you. Make it happen, because do you get what I mean, though? Like, it's all well and good having this. Like, it's an accurate representation of Logan from the X-Men animated show, but where do I put him on the shelf? I can't put him with the team because I'm going to have the Wolverine in his costume. So he's just like the lost wanderer.
I do think, like, going forward, I think, like, sorry, comic book X-Men fans, close your ears now, but I think going forward, they are going to push the animated looks a lot more, I think, next year and the year after, just due to the response to X-Men 97. So I think this would just be a great look. I think to give a tan suit Wolverine already, it's too early, like Wave 3. Like, and you need a Wolverine, I think, in the 3rd series, but I think get this civilian look for Wolverine out first, then do that next. And I'm not saying like you can't do the civilian looks for other characters as well. You could do like Cyclops and Jean.
I want pregnant referee Jean Grey.
That's what you want.
I don't really.
See, that you could that would be like an STC set. That scene where they're all playing like basketball, like the characters in those looks. That would be great. But yeah, I just think of all the civilian looks, this is the most iconic. It's one that they've never done in Legends form anywhere.
No.
And
the Mondo looks good. The Mondo looks good too.
I think if the VHS line had continued, they would have done this in the VHS line as like a new look for the figures. Yeah. But obviously that's on the back burner. I definitely think, because I think just so many people have got memories of this costume for Wolverine, like this look for Logan is the civilian look for Logan. So I just think it will be. I think they will do it.
Okay, so you're saying Target acquired. He's going to be in Wave 3. Okay.
Target acquired.
So we got Storm. Okay, so we're continuing with some of the alternative looks. And I think it's fair to say Storm is probably the first X-Men main character to get a new outfit because of her side story of gaining her powers back. And it's the classic. It's another classic Storm look. So it's not a new look they invented for the show. It harks back to a very familiar Storm look, which I think people are very happy to see in the animated show. And one we did get in Legends form not too long ago in those X-Men 2-packs. I think she came with Warpath, which was going like pretty cheap. Let's be honest. That was one that definitely went to sale.
She with Thunderbird, wasn't she?
Thunderbird,
it was a giant size X-Men 2-pack.
Warpath, Thunderbird, they're brothers. They're related. It's easy to get those two mixed up. But yes, you're not wrong. And yeah, it was a 2-pack. And that's very accurate to this look. And I guarantee you, her appearing in this outfit made that pack a little bit more desirable. I bet some people did some backtracking to go and get that Storm, which was always a great figure, by the way. It came with multiple versions of the cape, so you could display a different, multiple head looks as well, with powered up and one natural, multiple hands. Like, I think I've got her on my display, like, in a nice place with all powered up. Like, there she is. So it's a great Marvel Legend we've already got. So they wouldn't have to change a lot, Rich, to make her X-Men 97 accurate, right? Maybe just a different head sculpt, but other than that, they could use the same body, could they not?
I want new elbows, Dan. I don't want those bloody circles.
Oh.
I hate them. I hate them so much. Your elbows. Ugh.
Are they single jointed? Yeah. Okay. So we'd need to update. We need to update the elbows. All females in Marvel Legends deserve double joints for sure.
She's pinless, but I don't know. The elbow joint on there was different to the normal.
Yeah, it's like it's like her elbow sticks out when it bends.
Yeah, it's horrible. It looks like she's like got like someone stuck circles into her arms. I hate it so much. But otherwise, it's a perfect figure.
So update the arms. Yes.
Yeah, sure. update the arms. New head with like different flowing hair, and I'd be happy. But I think, like we said before, if you're gonna sell figures, if you're gonna sell a wave, you need a couple of A-list X-Men. So I think for all the characters, like you said, Storm got this look earliest of all. So I think for a Wave 3, this version of Storm has to be in there. I think it is a great look for Storm. Like in 97, she got a new hairstyle with a like mohawk that we've already had. But this long flowing one, it harkens back to the giant size X-Men era. And it's just a great story. I think Storm has an amazing story arc in X-Men 97. It's a great character development. She's got some brilliant moments with Jean, with Forge, with all the characters, with Jubilee. And she's just a great character. I love Storm. I love this look. And I would love this on an X-Men 97 card.
Yeah, and going back to, like you said, in regards to Hasbro making waves, we all know there's a budget for a particular wave. And it has to be, for them to spend more money on tooling up a new figure, they need to find a few reuses in the mix. And I do think, like Morph, this is another one they could pull out from the archive, update the arms, give her a new head, and maybe give her the re-release that on the single card. She's worthy of it. It would make sense. People wouldn't be mad at it, and it also gives Hasbro the opportunity to spend some extra money on something else that we need a little bit more. So yeah, I wouldn't be mad at this. So you're going to say Target acquired? Yes, he does. He says Target acquired.
I gotta stop you there, Dan, because that's 6 figures. We've completed a Wave 3.
Oh, we have. Okay, so this is Richie M's. So would you go on record, Rich, by saying this is your prediction for Wave 3 of X-Men 97?
This is what if I worked for Hasbro.
Okay, so this is your Hasbro hat. That's your Hasbro hat you're wearing right now.
This is my Hasbro hat now. Yeah.
Yeah. So this isn't the wave that Rich would. want.
I can't reveal anything, Dan. I can't say.
But no, I was going to say this isn't the wave that like Rich's heart wants, because Rich would obviously put Val Cooper and definitely Jubilee in their front, and so you get 2 versions.
Yeah,
of
my most wanted wave would not be this. Let me just say that out. But this is what I think that Hasbro will do.
Yeah. Okay. So I get that. So you got a villain. You've got a couple of sort of redecos in there. Well, you got 3, I guess, really redecos, because Forge, Morph, and Storm wouldn't take a lot of tweaking from their comic releases to make them more accurate. So they save a bit of the budget there to give us the new updated Beast that we want, because we want him to be pinless and give us a better head sculpt. Also, they can still put a Wolverine in there, an A-list X-Men, but in a different outfit, still accurate to the animated show. I could see that working. Rich, as a way through. What we're saying about this in the chat, people. Let me close this poll that I've currently got running. That's not relevant to today's show. That's my bad. And put up a poll real quick. Would you buy this wave 3 of X-Men 97? If you're on the replay crew, then you can let us know in the comments if you prefer. But I'm going to put this to the live chat that are here with us right now. And we're going a little bit later this evening, I know that, but it's a fun topic to digest. We're still doing an after show today as well. Don't worry, I'll be there. Yes or no? The after show topic, if you couldn't tell, is going to be continuing with X-Men 97 as well. So if you do want to stick around and talk X-Men 97 with us, then get involved with the after show. But I've put that poll live in the chat, Rich. We're going to let that stroll for a second. Get involved. The poll is now live in the chat. Would you buy this wave 3 of X-Men 97? Just nice and simple. Yes or no? Just yes or no? No overcomplicating. I would, Rich. I absolutely would. I'm definitely like... I regret, like, being the guy that is known for buying retro cards. This is the one fucking retro card Marvel thing I never bought 2 sets of. Never. I didn't think there'd be... I like everybody else, I was caught up in that trap of thinking, these will be easy to get. I'll backtrack and get them later. Not a problem. And then before you know it, they're gone, and it's now hard to get. So yeah, this is my recent modern day collecting regret, is not buying doubles of this set, because you know I'm a sucker for the retro card, and now we know this line is continuing, and we're due at least another wave of these, then yeah, I am a little bit mad. Have you ended up, you're not really keeping them on card anyway, but yeah, frustrating.
So I got 2. The only one I got 2 of was Jean Grey, because I wanted like Madeline and
long
Jean
hair, short hair. Yeah.
But again, I took them all off their cards. No one's on their card. But I did buy an extra Wolverine, because I thought if anyone's gonna sell, it will be Wolverine.
You're a clever
man.
I
have got an extra Wolverine like hidden away for a
and
rainy day.
if you want it, people, at least £100.
£5,000. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's a look. I always say to people about collecting, like, we don't know the stock market. If we knew the stock market, we'd be all rich. We don't know the stock market, but we know collecting, right? So pocketing an extra Wolverine is just very sensible. I like that move. I'm not mad at it.
It's odd though how things change so quickly, because like at Christmas time, all of this, the first wave was in Amazon for like under £20. It was all like £5 off, like UK and in America. And then, the
show comes
6
out.
months later, or you can't get Rogue, you can't get Wolverine anyway. Gambit is selling out as well.
Testament of the show. Like, honestly, it's like a lot of people. I think people were pleasantly surprised with how much they like this show, and that's only a good thing. So let's have a look at the poll. So far, 68% of the people would buy this wave. So that's good going. Good going.
2/3.
Yeah, it's not good going. Again, there might be people out there that don't buy any of the X-Men. So just to have the answer of yes or no is probably doesn't really give us much insight. But
but wait, Daniel.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Because I just thought of something with the figures we left.
Yeah.
We could maybe we could do a wave 4. Oh,
okay.
As well.
So the figures that you thought might not make it to wave 3, we could just put them together as well.
Except Val Cooper, because they never make him Val Cooper.
Okay, let's be honest.
I think otherwise they could be a wave 4.
Maybe there is. So this could be wave 4 of X-Men 97. So there you have it, people. There is X-Men wave 3 and wave 4 for 2025 potential. So who's he put in wave 4 here? So wave 4, they get a little bit deeper into the season, which is usually how these things work. Like, the later into the waves you get, the deeper they go into the source material. So Bastion isn't revealed until a little bit later. Deathbird, again, is sort of only in a few episodes, but she's still a part of it. Professor X, key X-Men, Jubilee, key X-Men, Gambit, Cabal, everyone loves, and we got a bit of new blood with Sunspot. I'm not actually sure which wave I prefer. Let's have a look. Let me go back to my images. Sorry, people, I was skipping through. Which wave do I prefer? Like, my beast biased is, unfortunately, I'm just going to get beast blindness, and I'm always going to say wave 3, but I think, like, just based off my Marvel Legends collection now, Rich, right? I have Storm that looks like that. I have a Morph that I could kit bash. I have a Mr. Sinister. I have a couple of Forges that don't look too dissimilar to that. So, like, just for my own collecting brain, as much as I would like an updated Beast, and I do want one, I don't have a Deathbird on my shelf. I don't have a Civilian Sunspot. I'd be interested to see what they did with an animated Bastion. I'd be interested to see them do an updated Professor X with a more accurate hover chair. I genuinely think Wave 4, just speaking for myself, looks a little bit more interesting, just for me as a collector, than Wave 3. Because...
But Daniel,
Yes.
what you're forgetting is we're doing this as workers from Hasbro.
Yes.
And you've got to think, look at the development time
I
for all these
understand.
figures. The Wave 4 is much better. I agree with what the chat saying. I knew that was going to happen there for one Wave 4. But we need to strike with the iron's hot. We need to get a wave out as quick as we can. And Wave 3 is much easier to do all of those characters than it's going to be to do Wave 4. And then Wave 4 is where you get the new stuff, you get the new tooling, the new things in. So Wave 4 is 100%
I've
much
just noticed the
better
chat,
than
by the
Wave
way.
3.
The chat are like, hang on, Wave 4's way better. Oh, well, Wave 4, I'm all in on Wave 4. Wave 4, yeah. So, yeah, again, Rich is wearing his Hasbro hat, where they give us the easy repaints, the quick figures to get out in Wave 3, and then you wait a little bit longer, and then you get those desirable, more harder to get character designs, possibly. So, but to be fair, right, so let's just say, hypothetically, Wave 1 and 2, it's out, it's in the history books, they're there, right? And we only ever get 4 waves. We only ever get 4 waves. These are the 2, and then these are the next 2. When all said and done, and that's it. That's all Hasbro ever make for X-Men 97, at least this first season that we've just watched, okay? Let's say they never make anything else associated with season 1. With those 4 waves, I think I'd be happy. Like, who are they missing? Like, which key character from the first season of X-Men 97 would they have missed within those
Val
4
Cooper.
waves? Apart from, yeah, I guess Val Cooper. But, again,
Poor Val.
in regards to toys, she's probably not the most toyetic. She probably wouldn't stand out as most on display. You couldn't display her with any power set or on a flight stand or anything like that. So I guess in regards to a toyetic fun display, I'd be pleased with that. If at the end of the day, Rich, all said and done, they're Wave 1 and 2, and then this is Wave 3 and 4, I think I'd be happy. I think I'd be happy.
What you've got, I know a lot of people are saying about the new uniforms and like Apocalypse being a major character in season 2, but you save that for Wave 5, because then you tie it in to season 2. At least at the start of season 2, they're going to be in those uniforms, and Sabanur is going to be in that look, in his like Egyptian looking outfit. Put that in Wave 5, you already got a layup ready for when season 2 starts then as well.
Yeah. Uncaged in the chat says, where's Rectangular? Got to see what's next already. Yeah, Rectangular already knows. Remember, he's 99.9% accurate. Collecting Rush says Diamond Emma Frost. Yeah, Diamond Emma Frost would be good. Diamond Emma Frost in comic form would be good as well. Like, we haven't had a decent version of that for a while. I think Toy Biz did do one, or the Dark Days of Hasbro at least, but there are ones out there. But there you go. So Wave 3 and 4. So again, bravo, Rich. Thank you very much as always for putting that list together for us. You've got 2 sales, at least from me, Rich. I'd buy Wave 3 and Wave 4 off you if you were working for Hasbro.
Thanks, Dan. I'll put you on my LinkedIn CV, right? As my recommendation.
Yeah, I'll be your character reference. Yes, Rich likes X-Men. Yes, he does.
Are you like the work experience for Hasbro to get a job? That's what this role is, yeah.
Yeah. Just when you do a go and work for Hasbro interview, just point to the hat and be like, look, the Hasbro hat. Look, I've got my Hasbro hat on and ready to go. I think like Hasbro. Repaints. Save money. Repaints. Redos. Say that. Just say that lots. Drop repaints into the interview. Every question, even if it's not about Marvel Legends, just drop it in. They love it. Right, let me end that poll. So over 70% people say they would buy it. Beautiful stuff. Right. There is an after show today, people, by the way. Where's my button? There it is. So we're going to go straight over to the after show right now. So it's a little bit later than usual. I apologise, but an extra half an hour of content. And we will continue discussing the potential of an X-Men 97 wave. And we will ask you to pick your 6 figures to make an X-Men wave 97 wave 3. And it can be spoilerific. We're spoiling everything. Because, yes, Gambit does die. You heard it here. spoiler, I told you it was a spoiler show, right? I waited 2 hours into this show to give you that spoiler. So if you're still watching and you're mad at that, that's on you. It's not on me. That's on you. But go and watch the show. Definitely highly recommended. Rich, thank you very much as always. Tell the good people where they can find you online. And good to have you back. It feels it's been like 3 weeks since I spoke to you. It feels like a while.
No upcoming girl band tour, so I'm back now for the foreseeable future. But you can find me on Displayed Ones on Instagram.
There you go. And again, if you want to be on the after show, start hitting me up on Instagram right now. Hit me up on Instagram with those fresh DMs, and I will send you the link to join the after show. You just have to be a member of the Who Crew Deluxe tier. That's different. That's the 3rd channel membership tier, right? It's the one up from members club. But if you are a part of the members club and you're like, I don't want to be part of this extra show, I just want to join Legend of the Liquor and talk some toys and drink some Koppelberg, then Legend of the Liquor is this week, this Sunday the 2nd of June. Can you believe it? We are in June. We are technically in halfway through the year. No, well, not until the end of the year technically, but we're in the halfway month for the year. In June the 2nd, Legend of the Liquor, 6 o'clock. I will see you there. If you want to be part of the show, hit me up for DM as well. And maybe I'll see you on the after show and on Legend of the Liquor. Because you know what? That's allowed. If you are supporting the channel, you can be on the channel as much as you want. Right? It's as simple as that. Support the channel, be on the channel. I cannot break it down any simpler. If you're not a channel member, get out of it. Look at Virtual Dave in the chat. Andrew, become a channel member, right? What are you waiting for? We know each other in person. We've met, we hung around with each other at Comic Con, and you're not a channel member. Sort it out, mate. Sort it out. Get involved. Get involved, all right? I appreciate you, all right? Thank you so much. We'll be back next week. What's our topic next week, Rich? Have we figured it out?
Not the 85th anniversary.
Not the 85th.
Maybe a quick recap of the start for 2 seconds when we rate it all.
Yeah, when we reveal Odin, when we reveal Odin, we'll have a quick recap. But other than that, we'll be good.
What was your favourite one apart from Superior Spider-Man? That's what someone asked you in the chat earlier.
Oh, the Luke Cage and Iron Fist 2-pack.
Yeah, that is a good one, and yeah. I like the Warbird as well. The Warbird is a good one. What I will say is for the 85th years of Marvel, it's very recent, a lot of them. Very recent years. Not so much from the first 60 years, a lot from the last 25.
Yeah, we did not. But if you want to go back and talk about characters from every decade, go back and watch some of the previous streams. Go and check out the thumbnails. We literally went back and started from 1939 and moved up through the decades. Rich, you weren't here when me and Jay polled the final winner. Did you watch it? Do you know who won?
If the Strong Collectors do a recap, I'll watch it on there.
Yeah, shout out Strong Collectors. They will be recapping this stream for us. I'm going to go on their show, by the way, so friendships have been made. It's fine. But I think it was Rachel. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jay,
yeah, it should. I would imagine it would be Rachel, because it was Bucky, Rachel, and Armor were the three.
Yeah, this just in from Rectangular. Rectangular says we are going to be getting some sort of Phoenix character this year. That's happening. A deluxe Phoenix. Ooh. What's that, Todd? Yeah, Deluxe Phoenix is happening from Todd live in my ear.
Go and watch Rectangular's videos. Yeah. Go and watch them now.
Yeah, go and check out Todd's. Remember, people, 99.9% correct. Pow! And the leaks are gone. Yeah, that's not a good catchphrase. I'll work on it. All right, I'm off to the after show. We'll see you then. I'll see you Sunday for Legend of the Liquor. And look out for my review of Superior Spider-Man. It's incoming, all right? He is coming. And I'm looking forward to it. He looks epic, and I'm not sending it back to Brandon, all right? I'm going to say it got lost in the post, all right? Right, I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye. Click that video and that one, both videos. Do you know what? Put that one on your watch list, then come back and watch that video, because that one's pretty funny. And I can't believe...
Shout out to David Mitchell, who's just become...
Oh, there you go. Well. David Mitchell joined right at the end of the show. David Mitchell upgraded to the members club. I appreciate that, David Mitchell. Come and join us on Legend of the Liquor this Sunday, if I haven't mentioned it. All right, I'll see you then. Go and find the playlist. Bye-bye.